Morning, everybody. You're looking at, actually right here, from moving the mouse, that's Nesbitt Street. This is what the street called Porter Street. So this is looking up to Belvedere this morning. We'll be with you in 2.5 minutes. Thanks for your patience.
Morning, everybody. Welcome to City Life. I'm Linda Bown. I'm going to be your host this morning. I have Greg Pappas.
Hello.
Who wore many. Why don't you tell them about some of the hats you wore? My goodness, when I first met you, you were.
I had hair.
And you were working with Nick, right? Is that who?
Yeah, that's right. I was working. I just got out of Suffolk, and we had the full-time legislative aides. I worked with Nick for like 8 years, and then what did I go for?
Lambos.
Yeah, Nick Lambos, right. Then I went to Treasurer Crane's office. That was the best guy I ever worked for in my life.
Yeah.
Bob Crane was
Everybody
great.
said that.
Oh,
Anybody
my
that
God,
worked with Bob Crane said he was really.
You were part of a family. I mean,
Yeah.
he would call, even after he got out, he would call you up and say, so-and-so passed away. I see you at the wake this
Yeah.
weekend, And then what did I do?
You worked for the Prince of Darkness after that.
Well, Billy I met from day one. He was the first guy I met.
I remember when in 70, when he was just kicking around.
Yeah, he was 1975. I started in 77. He was a freshman rep.
Yeah.
And then, let's see, I went from Bob Crane to, I worked for Ed Kennedy for a little while at the county commissioner's office. Then I went to, where did I go to? Congress with Chester Atkins.
Oh, God, I forgot about Chet.
And then I went back with Billy, and I ended up with Billy. And working with Galvin was like working, again, I knew him already,
Yeah.
But I did 27 years with Billy, I think. Crazy.
Yeah. Well, you and Phil Shea. Phil Shea was there a long time.
And then I
Oh,
did-
George Anthes was there.
Phil was the budget director. And then
Yeah.
I went to come back to Lowell for 2 years. I'd still be there if I didn't have that medical incident, but
Yeah.
I think we did good, though, when we straightened some stuff out. We got a good director for the city, so.
Well, yes, and I'm glad to hear that, because that's all.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the city, because first of all, condolences to Frank King. His wife passed away, and I'm very sorry. I'm sure it's very difficult. I know what it's like to lose a spouse, but he's a nice guy, and he was dedicated to her, so very sorry about that.
Yeah.
Now, where was I?
I can't.
But go ahead.
No, you were going to go. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. As far as working for the Secretary of State,
yeah.
but let's talk about Lowell. That's where I was going to
Yeah,
go. Secretary of State, Lowell elections. I don't get it that the citizens of Lowell have to deal with the ballot that's like 8 pages long or something.
What? Well.
It's a little insane.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's the problem with the fact that we have to print more than one language.
More than one, yeah.
We print three. We're the only city, I think, there's only one other city that prints 3 languages. Even Boston doesn't. They print 2, but different varieties of them. But we print 3 languages, and, the whole argument being, I forget what the court case was, but, allow people to, I'm not sure what the concept is, but English is not the national language,
No,
but yet it is.
It is now.
But it is, yeah. And it should.
Well, I don't know, Massachusetts, are we part of the United States? Sometimes I wonder.
Well, it's a Republican thing, so
Well, the
it's a Democratic state. It's terrible.
Generally, the languages, any country is, you go on the history, then the legislation, the documents, and then you create the history of the United States, and all the documents are in English. So it's that we should be printing it in one language, English again, and we wouldn't have as many pages. It wouldn't cost the state as much money. It wouldn't cost the city as much money. It wouldn't cause as many problems at the polling locations. It's just a bad thing. It's not a good thing.
Well, I know where they wanted to go with all the changes in voting, but it really, it has backfired. And it's made it much more difficult. I think, and particularly now, if you want, everybody seems to want to be in America. Well, if you want to be an American citizen, although they're fleeing like crazy. Up at Walmart, we do passports all day long. You almost could have someone just doing passport pictures.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I don't know, and these are, they don't look like gang members or anything. I mean, they look like pretty, but they're on their way. And I think that one of that guy that was in Canada that had been here for, what was it, 8 years, he had a family, and they wouldn't let him over because he had some small things, marijuana and different other things, nothing huge. I think you're going to see a lot of that. You're not going to come back in if and I don't understand the concept of somebody coming to this country, because I saw Bown. Bown came
legally, yep.
and he became a citizen and loved being a citizen. And then Va came as a refugee at 10, and he's a citizen and served in Vietnam. Every refugee I have ever known, I mean the Cambodians that we know, they have Paul Ratham, very proud to be an American.
Yeah.
Why would you be here? And now be shocked that maybe you should, because you couldn't do it anywhere else, as you say. You have to speak their language. I got stranded in Italy. It's not pretty in the rest of the world if you don't speak the language.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's what's going on in Europe now. Spain doesn't want you there unless you're going to speak their language. They don't want tourists. They don't want even tourists.
Wow.
They want you speaking their language,
Well,
Respect them. I understand.
I get that because whenever I traveled, and I did unfortunately a lot with Bown, wherever I went, now Bown spoke 9 languages,
Right.
so I could sort of hang back but in Italy when he was in the hospital, and I was on my own. I saw how difficult, but I really tried, and you have to. I think France was always that way.
Well, France too. Until maybe 15 years ago, you could not become a citizen of France.
Right.
You had to be born of a French citizen in France, of the blood, or the soil rather, of the blood being born somewhere else, but you're a French citizen. The only way you could, as an outsider, you had to join the French Foreign Legion. If you served 5 years in the French Foreign Legion, they would think about granting you citizenship. But you know what they did? Those guys went to, and people and girls, whatever, dangerous,
Yeah.
So that's the only way you could be a French citizen.
Bound joined the French.
Did he really?
One time, yes. And
Wow.
That's a very bizarre story, a typical Bound story.
Well, that's not surprising. Doctor
Typical
Who.
Bound story. But anyway, put that on the credentials.
Yeah.
So, but I like Greece.
Yeah.
Now, Greece, you speak Greek.
I don't know. I've never been there.
I don't know if any.
Yeah, I
John,
would
you've
think,
traveled a lot. What do you think about the language situation?
What's really helping is bring your smartphone.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
And the best story I can tell you is
Yeah.
we were in Stockholm. And it's a walking city, so me and my wife and her sister, their nickname is the Dixie Chicks, we take a walk around the neighborhood. So we're walking and looking beautiful. This is great. It's nice. People are all friendly. We don't understand what they're saying, but it's a nice, beautiful, nice day to walk around. Well, we get lost. We can't find the hotel. So my wife said, "What do you want to do?" I says, "We're going to do the Undertaker's rule. I'm going to go in a hotel and say, 'Where's the hotel?'" They all
Right. Yeah.
I know where every funeral home in Lowell is.
Yeah.
They're going to know where every hotel
Sure.
is.
Yeah.
So we went into the hotel. The girl didn't understand it, but she calls her friend on the phone.
There you go.
Tell the friend what's going on. And so she hands me the phone. I start talking to the girl. And she said, "Okay, I said, "Well, we're lost. We don't know where the Linda Hotel is. Can't find it." And said, "Okay, she's gonna walk you over there." So I'm gonna give her the phone back.
Yeah.
So this young woman, she walked us to our hotel.
Wow. Was that nice?
So most people, when you visit, whether it's
Yeah.
Egypt or France, same thing in Italy. The game face that the authorities have could be nicer.
Yeah.
We had a confrontation in France, and we had a confrontation in Italy. They're just not nice people.
Yeah.
That's where I was stranded
The authorities.
in Livorno. It was
They have a game face that's like, what the hell? I'm a tourist in your freaking country.
Yeah.
Whatever law I broke, it's completely out of nitwitness. I didn't know.
Right.
yeah.
And I'm sorry. So in France, Ellen's getting a kick out of the security, so
Right.
she takes a picture of the security. Oh my God, it's like an earthquake. You can't take the picture.
Yeah.
So he's yelling and screaming at her. So she convinces him that she deleted the picture on her camera.
Yeah.
So after verbally chastising her, he let her go. And in Italy, we were in, I think, Naples. And we had to get on this boat to get to our hotel, to get to our ship. And so the cab driver said, just get on that boat, and the second stop is where your boat will be. Your ship will be. Okay, cool. So we're there, and there's like 50 people waiting to get on this boat. The boat shows up. They all step onto the boat. I said, this is pretty cool. Must be like public transportation. You don't have to pay. This is great. Because nobody paid. They just walked on. First stop, uniform guy gets on, and they all whip out of their pocket this white card. We don't have no white card.
Right.
So the second stop, the cop motions to us, stick with him. It was a $100 fine that we had to pay. So he walks us up the hill, and I'm explaining to the guy, and he's just ignoring us. Well, he just doesn't understand English.
Right. Huh.
So I get to the
He didn't know you were tourists?
the little police station, and it's in a tent. And the girl says, I said, would you explain to your colleague that pure ignorance, I apologize, I didn't know that we're breaking any rules. She says, you can talk, he speaks English. Just to speak to how, the authorities over there,
Yeah.
they should just go to nice schools.
It's just funny. This is lately with the tourism stuff. They're asking people to do that. I don't see that with the tourism. I see if you live there, you should speak the language.
Yeah.
But the tourism. When I was in Paris, my wife in 2013 for 3 weeks with a group of people. They were really nice back then, but.
I went to France right after Iraq, and
Okay.
everybody said, "Oh my God, they were wonderful."
Yeah, that's
they were
right,
wonderful.
yeah.
I couldn't have asked more.
Yeah.
But Italy, when I got stranded
Yeah.
in Livorno, I was on a cruise, and that's a stop to get to Florence.
Right.
And Bown got sick, and they put him in a hospital, and nobody spoke English, and I couldn't take a bus. I couldn't get nobody would tell me where I was.
Right.
You talk
See,
about
now,
being lost.
with the phones now,
Right.
they will translate.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So you can put your phone on translate.
Yeah.
Say this
Yeah.
to the guy, and it will it'll repeat back to him in his or her language.
Yeah. So they have no excuse. That's interesting. Yeah. But it's just a funny thing. It's just very strange. It's just stuff. I don't know. I just think weird things have happened since 2000 and since 9/11.
It
Like
is
9/11 put a
I'm
curse
glad
on
I
the whole
traveled
planet.
when I did.
Yeah, me too. We were actually, Elizabeth and I went to Australia the year before 9/11, and because her brother was there, and we wanted to visit him before he came, because we knew they were going to move back to here after they got married. And we were on, I think it was United Flight 11 to Los Angeles. 1 year later, it was September. 1 year later, that was one of the ones that hit the Trade Center.
Yeah.
It was Flight 11 United. It went Boston, Los Angeles, and then we took the Qantas Airlines to Australia from there, But the Australian people was almost embarrassing. I remember we were just on the sidewalk getting a drink from a little cafe thing, and this young lady and friends, they just stepped in, and I said to get a drink, and they looked at me, says, I said, I'm sorry, I didn't know. They go, oh, are you American? I go, yeah. Oh, no, you go. And then they bought us a drink.
Yeah.
And I said, that was nice, but they were only like teenagers. What'd you do that for? Were you in the military? Because no, my father was in the Navy in World War II. You saved Australia. You came down and saved
wow.
Australia. The British ran away, and you saved us. Our families told us about the American Navy, and, I'm going, what?
I went to the American schools to tell us about
Yeah, it was crazy.
Navy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was in 2000. My wife's going, you got to be kidding me. Just my father was a Navy pilot. It's like, wow,
Yeah.
But that was crazy stuff. But I don't know what this thing is in Europe, but they don't want tourism there anymore for some reason. Then that's what it's all about. Tourism, crowding, too many crowds in Spain.
Well, they had an immigration issue as well. I mean,
they created that too, like
Yep.
us,
Yeah, and so I don't know where it's going, but we shall see. It's
Yeah.
sort of a whole different. It's just I can't even imagine traveling now.
No.
I wouldn't be as comfortable. Although John, you're still doing cruise. Well, no, you don't do as many cruises.
Oh, because
As
my grandson, I love my wife, I love my grandson, and if she's got an excuse to watch that kid, we're not going to Paris, I have to watch Luke.
yeah.
She loves watching the baby, so.
Yeah.
It's her last time at the rodeo, so I'm going to go right out the storm. Paris will be there in 1,000 years.
Yeah.
And they grow up so fast.
Because I'd like to get over to see the refreshed Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Right.
I would like, yeah. I saw it before, the fire.
Before the fire, me too, yeah.
And the Lowellians should use Notre Dame as an excuse for the rejuvenation of Lowell High School. Instead of Bellyache. We should have built it in Bell, but you should have tore it down.
Oh,
Yeah.
we shouldn't have torn down
point.
St. Peter's. I don't know why we tore down St. Peter's. They try to say it was this. They were bouncing the iron ball off the wall. They're saying it was going to cave in or something. I mean,
The problem,
you buried Margoletti there, one of the last ones. I'm going, what are we tearing this down?
problem with St. Peter's was, it was not a granite church. That was granite siding.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
And if you can use your imagination, those granite blocks were hooked into a brick wall.
Oh, okay.
The hooks were made out of steel. And the people in charge of the church
Yeah,
didn't fix the roof. So
Okay.
water got in there
right.
and rusted and rotted all those hooks.
What a shame. What a beautiful church.
And so it was destined to fall down. And when a 1,000-pound piece of granite fell off the roof,
oh my goodness.
they knew that was,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's,
Just sad, that's all.
Scary stuff.
It was a beautiful church.
well, it's, if you don't take care of stuff,
Right, of course, yeah.
like we're talking about the courthouse down the street at Superior Courthouse. If nobody wants it, tear it down. Oh, it's a beautiful, I understand, nobody wants it. The neighborhood could use a little bit more green space, tear it down.
I don't,
Yeah,
They'll, oh, I don't want to do that. I'm gonna bellyache, tear it down.
Yeah.
well, of course, you're a neighbor, so you get to speak, aren't you?
Yeah. So I mean, Tommy Gold and all his king horses and all the king's men, the Smith Bakers, tear it down. Goodbye.
Do you think that will be included in this UN, rehab situation program?
It's not being torn down because the city doesn't have any money to
I was
do
going to say, it's going to cost a lot to tear that down, isn't it?
Yeah. What-
Those are the old, like the,
And that's what
Yeah.
the big excuse is. Well, it's cheaper to do nothing.
Well, not really, as things start falling off and hitting people in the head.
One
That's not-
brick falls off
Right.
that building and clinks somebody on the sidewalk.
those old buildings are built like, remember the Morton building over, where Moran was? Remember they couldn't knock that thing down. They were bouncing the metal ball off of it and everything.
Oh, yeah.
It was like built like, I don't know when, early 1900s or something.
Well, we tore down St. Peter's Convent to make our parking lot.
Okay.
The guy, the wrecking ball, he hits it with, and it's just bounced
Bounced off,
bounced
yeah.
off the
Yeah,
pipe.
it's like, wow, they
They
built
built
something.
they built it for God.
Yeah, right, it's crazy. It's
They did
beautiful.
know how to
It's
build
not.
things, even houses. Houses, cars, everything. They knew how to build
Well, the
it.
wall,
Oh, yeah.
the northwest wall was 6 bricks thick.
Wow.
Wow.
Holy cow. They must have been built, well, they were expecting knights in armor to attack again?
I don't know, but they knew
Wow.
where the wind was going to be coming from. And
Right, well, that's for sure. It comes out of the north, yeah. Wow, that's crazy.
Well, most of the churches, like the Greek churches, are all still standing, right, in the acre.
well, they
St.
they
Patrick's.
take good care of them. Like they just re-gilded the gold dome roof.
Oh, it is a gorgeous building.
Yeah.
It is a gorgeous
And
building.
Transfiguration up the street, they keep that thing beautiful inside, outside.
Yeah, they spent a
Maintenance
lot of money in it,
is
yeah.
a real part of their effort.
Right.
And the Catholic Church doesn't know what maintenance is.
Yeah.
Now, is Lowell getting on board with maintenance? I mean, they got a lot of new trucks. They're
Look,
trying to.
Linda, you got your choice here. We can hire your sister, or we can fix that roof. What do you want to do? I don't want to hear about the roof if I hire your sister.
Well, with all they're all crying about the cuts. I hope they don't take it out of the. In Tingsboro, for years and years and years, they would say, "Oh, we still have history books that say someday a man will land on the moon." We probably still have history books that say that because that's
Right.
sort of one of the last accounts they put the money into.
Right, yeah.
So it's becoming a very big issue about education and the teachers. I don't know where the disconnect. Well, I do know, of course, I know where the disconnect is, but they come. It's the unions. The unions. Because the teachers complain. John knows. Ellen was in the system. they come, oh my God, like, oh hi, there are mice and rats and cockroaches and all kinds of leaks in the roof, and over here, it's, the buildings really are in disarray, and so I don't understand why, and I think Paul George is one of the best negotiators that I've ever seen.
He's been around for a long time, yeah.
Why don't the unions go for the working conditions of the teachers? Give them what they need to teach. I mean, in fairness to the
Yeah, when I was a kid,
Unions
the teachers
only
taught,
care
yeah.
about your job.
Yeah,
You got a job, shut up.
well,
I'd have school teacher friends of mine run into issues, call their union, and the union just said, you got a job, shut up.
Well, that's just it. But why don't they get to vote on their union leaders? Is it, it sounds like,
Comment from
public
the
vote.
audience, until the city looks past historical bull fertilizer, the area will be clogged with old, dusty, no handicap accessibility.
you're right.
buildings.
yeah,
there's the key, accessibility.
right.
And that's been the problem with downtown Lowell. Those buildings, they can't retrofit them, so nobody takes them on. I just don't know.
Right.
I'm hoping that if they get into this program, that they'll have them, if they get the 1%, 2% loans, maybe they can do
Right.
some things.
Oh, I'm
some
sure they will,
grants.
yeah.
Because,
I just worry about dealing with the United Nations.
well, can't be any worse than what we've been dealing with, I hope. Well, be
I was
careful
just-
what you wish for, I suppose.
I was kidding around with, and I know Tom's smart enough to do it, but I said the small print on that contract is probably in reverse, written in Sumerian, and in tiny, tiny print. So you better read it real good.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm sure he has, but
Well,
I just find it, UN is just like, I don't know. They're part of that global thing. They want to turn everything, that's why they're, part of the global thing. But it will, the low interest loans, there's no doubt about that. It's going to do great stuff, but they're going to make a lot of money on that too. I mean, not just the people putting it out, they're going to make, it's because it's billions of dollars and 1% to 2%.
Yeah.
It's not millions of dollars, it's billions.
yeah,
So,
and it could really give a facelift to the city.
Oh, yeah, there's going to be a lot of things.
Again, I hope that maybe the high school will fall into that a little bit.
Boy.
I just, again, how you can get into a project and ever think that there wasn't asbestos, but you weren't going to find things like that in that
God, I
building.
don't know. Yeah.
Just,
Yeah.
any old building. I remember when in the office that was 300 years old, and I had a leak in the ceiling, and I said, well, why don't we take the whole thing down?
Right,
but-
yeah.
And there were three ceilings, and by the time we got up there, it was wide pine boards. It was just the
Yeah,
strangest.
it's going to happen. Those are old buildings.
Comment from the audience, would the teachers be willing to take less money to have a better maintained schools? Good question.
I think it's more the administrators.
We have too many administrators.
Huh?
We have too many administrators.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, the money that, they allocate the money and the state. Now in Lowell, in Drake and Tingsville, we have a hard time wrapping our head around the fact that we have to pay for our education.
Yeah.
With our taxes. We don't get anything from the state.
Right.
It pays it with. Lowell gets most of their money from the state. But the money comes in with good intentions, and it never, and the kids still can't read and write.
Right.
What's wrong with this picture?
Well, they won't let the teachers teach.
That's right.
When I was a kid, I remember, very well in high school, I remember like Mr. Duffy's Latin class. If the principal came in, he would say, "Excuse me, Mr. Duffy, don't mean to interrupt your class." And you go, "Can it wait?" He would say that to the principal, and he says, "It's really important. I need to make an announcement to the kids. I have to pull one of them out of here for something going on." He goes, "Okay, very good." The principals had nothing to do with setting policy. They only took care of like the payroll, the overtime, the programs. The teachers taught. You didn't tell a teacher what to do.
Oh,
You walked into that room, the teacher did that was their game. If a kid was out of control, down the office now. And don't come back here if you're going to be a problem. The teacher ran the classroom. They need to let them run it again.
That was before we started to hire our friends.
What's that?
I have had so many
yeah.
complaints about
You're right.
not with this administration, previous administrations,
Yeah.
of teachers that were hired that could not be understood.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you can't teach me. If I can't understand,
Right.
the children can't understand you. Goodbye, you're gone.
Yeah.
Coming
No,
from the
I
audience,
get that.
It's,
You have
it's
to
not
have
an
a-
unlimited fountain of money. Yes, it is. Just,
No,
it's in your
that's the
pocket.
problem. They've got to realize that it's got to stop. You can't keep adding. Well, and you complain about this all the time, John, that administrators leave and they always get more than the previous administrator, except in Tingsboro.
The superintendent?
Oh,
the
super,
administrator, yeah.
in both town managers, city managers.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to pick on the Golden Man because Greg's a friend of, and I'm not going to pick on him. While
No,
he's
you
here.
can pick on him. I mean, Tom can defend himself. But
Making $1,000 a day.
Yeah.
No, he's not. Monday through Friday. He doesn't work weekends. Doesn't work holidays. He's making $1,000 a day.
yeah. Well,
That's what the city council
Well, you think because he's not in City Hall, he's not working, no, Tom?
insisted.
Yeah.
No, he's not.
No, if he's not there, you don't think he's working?
No, he's not.
I mean, I learned from being around elected officials and appointed for my whole life. I never had a day off, and I was an appointed. I just worked for elected officials. I worked
24 hours a day.
weekends constantly. I get calls last night, and I'm still not an elected official. I mean, an appointed official from
That's
people
because
looking
you
for help in
answer your
this.
phone. If you answer your phone, you're going to get calls.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but you have to do that. That's what you do for the public. That's what a good appointed or elected official does. It's 24/7 forever. I mean, when I worked for Congressman Atkins, I didn't see my wife for like a year and a half, 2 years. Just weekends and
Was
nights.
she happy with this?
No, well, she was different. She's a funeral director, you know.
Yep.
She had a different attitude. But that's what happens if you're really going to do the job right. I'm just saying, I know Tom, he's doing the same thing. He's not, it's just, it's hard to
I see him
do.
from a different angle.
You're always on the phone with somebody looking to do something or wants to work for the city, wants this, needs
and-
project on that.
Okay, and
Yeah.
let's say.
Now, superintendents go home at 5 o'clock, I think,
Yeah.
and they make more than the governor. I don't think
Yeah,
that's right.
right.
School, I mean, if you put a bid out in Draco for 30,000, you got 25 people applying for a superintendent's job, and you don't need to pay 300,000 for a superintendent of school's job, I'm sorry.
No, and how many layers
Yeah.
of administration do you have?
I
Below
really
them.
don't know the school system that much in Drake, really that well, but I just find it interesting. A lot of them sit there and they tell the school committee what to do. You remember years ago?
Yeah.
If you sat in Drake school committee, like Eddie Bishop and the superintendent says, and you go, excuse me, what did you just say?
Yeah.
You're out the door in like 3 weeks, because school department, school officials, elected officials used to have, no, pardon me, what was that again? I work for the people, you do too. Just leave the office, leave this meeting, we're gonna talk later, type of thing.
Yeah.
I don't get that, how they all tell them what to do,
Well, now, I mean, even at that level, I mean, the state, Desi is making the call. I mean, I hear it all the time that on the Voc and all the teachers say, no discipline.
But
You
this
can't
is
discipline.
my biggest gripe. This is my biggest gripe. Everybody gets promoted.
Absolutely.
And when you
Yeah.
have, this is a perfect picture of a poor little kid, 11 years old, and he can't read.
Right,
Thank you, Lowell School System. Thank you, Tingsboro School System,
yeah.
for promoting this child who can't read.
Well, thank you,
Well,
Desi.
so-
Desi is the one that's making the rules. They're saying
Well,
you-
no.
they come in and they evaluate them and how many times.
Yesterday we had Rodney Elliott was here, and he's confident it's not Desi that's doing this.
Well, Desi certainly did. I wasn't. What
What did
about
he
the
say? What did he say
pandemic?
it was? Yeah. What did he say?
It's the individual districts decide that mothers are in charge. So, in order for us to keep little Greg back, we have to tell Greg's parents, or in many cases, Greg's mom, we want to keep Greg back because Greg can't read. So, and the mother's going to stick up for the kid.
Right, yeah.
Say, well, look how about we put him in summer school? Put him in summer school, he'll pick up reading, and if the mother doesn't want to let Greg stay back, Greg's not going to stay back. And there's
interesting.
no such thing as parent school, so that's why this poor little kiddo he's doomed.
No.
Can't read. For the rest of your life, buddy, you can't read.
Yeah.
And we're paying $17,000 every year for this kid to go to school. And the school authority needs to be able to supersede what the parent thinks. This kiddo deserves to read.
I don't understand why they don't. I mean, they used to be years ago. You had no say of whether kids stayed back or not. When did that change? They changed it, obviously changed, right?
This is Massachusetts.
Well, thanks,
Well,
John.
I
Yeah.
think-
No, I get you, John.
Let's head off to the ladies.
You just said it right there,
Let's go to
buddy.
the ladies' room at McDonald's today.
Yeah.
I'll see you in the ladies' room later on.
No, thanks.
That's just Massachusetts. It's
I
great.
know, no, you're right. I'm sorry, I forgot where I was.
And the attitude at the state, down at the State House is, if you know our motto, if you don't like it here, move.
Well,
And they are. People
Yeah.
are moving.
Southern New Hampshire, oh my God, the
Right.
prosperity of Southern New Hampshire,
Yeah.
amazing.
Well, it's going to crash because the money's not going to be there, and the money's getting cut off, and it's drying up, and Boston's economically falling apart. That's your biggest taxpayer. People think it's 128. City of Boston provides a lot of revenue for the
Manchester's
state,
having their
you know?
problems. I was up in Manchester yesterday, and I went to a variety store. I was going to visit Ned Tommy, so I went into a variety store to buy him a Diet Pepsi. He loves Diet Pepsi.
Yeah.
So I'm in the car. A woman comes over. She opened my car door, asking for $1.
Right.
Oh, my goodness.
I never had anybody open my car door before. I can't say that anymore. This is Manchester, New Hampshire.
Yeah.
Well,
terrible,
that's
yeah.
very unfortunate because for years that, I used to look at what was going on in Lowell, and it wasn't in Manchester. They have beautiful restaurants. They have,
Right.
and Nashville, I guess, is the same way.
But to have the guts to open my car door.
That's,
Well, obviously she wasn't okay. Yeah.
the
risk on that alone, it's a mess.
She's probably 20 years old. She looked like she was 50.
Yeah, because, look what they found, what was it yesterday? How many hundreds of pounds of more fentanyl and stuff, and it's coming out of Mexico, and they know where it's coming from, and, you're dealing with...
and we're a sanctuary state.
Well, and you're dealing with the president of Mexico, who I think the people in Washington realize she's just the president of Mexico City. She doesn't control the rest of the country.
Yeah.
And that's the whole thing. They don't have, you have to realize that the public thinks that way. Even in Canada, the prime minister doesn't control British Columbia. It's more Chinese in British Columbia than there are Canadians. They have no
Yeah.
control over that, but they don't want to admit. In France, when I was there in 2013, we couldn't go to the northwest section to see these sites because it was all Islamic. And the police said, no, they stopped, says, you'll start a riot, we'll have to arrest you. We'll start a riot. They wouldn't let anybody go there. You couldn't. That was in 2013. You couldn't go to the French people couldn't go to the northwest section.
Yeah.
They blocked it off because it would cause problems if you didn't wear this and do that and all this other stuff. They gave up their sovereignty for stuff like that. So, it's just all craziness. And,
Well, it is. Everything's crazy. I think
Yeah,
that's
it's part of the
why people
globalism
are
movement.
trying to get back to some kind of normalcy.
Right.
The whole thing is insane. But I'm surprised that New Hampshire he's talking about, because Doreen's in Merrimack, and Everett Olson Jr. is the superintendent, and it's a very well school system. And my grandson did, in fact, stay back. Now, I know I was involved and Doreen was involved, and it was the right thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. He's going to sail on now. He's like the king going into the first grade.
That's why
he's
there's a lot
reading.
of-
He's
yeah.
doing all.
I can remember when I stayed back in the second grade. My mother told me, you're going to stay back. I didn't really process what she was talking about. But the second time around, I was one of the smartest kids in class because
Yeah.
I knew the stuff.
sometimes it clicks.
I love
yeah.
the second grade. I got to read
Yeah.
these two texts.
Yeah.
I don't think Rocky was a real person, but Rocky couldn't read, and he became a champion of the world. Okay.
Actually,
Obviously, the texter can read and write.
Actually, to be honest with you, John, I read a book about Rocky, and they said the character Rocky had a PhD. So, no, I'm only kidding you.
The money will never dry up. Government will always find money for their problems they created. Our pockets. Good point, Jay. Back to you.
It's true to a degree, but they're running out of sources now, and they are running out of sources.
Yeah, but you're right, because now
Yeah.
what is Massachusetts going to do now? I mean, we've got the millionaire's tax.
They spent $4 billion on illegals. That's a bad problem. There's going to be revenue shortfalls from Washington. And the governor's in a real, it's all culminating, it's actually everything I looked at from Dukakis' first term in 77 is culminating into what Mara and what's in Kim are now. They're gonna money always solves the problem politically.
Yeah.
It's gonna have some major cutbacks and major fall. They're just not gonna have it. There's cities and towns that want more money, like Lawrence. I think they already get over 110% of their 110% money from the state and federal government. They don't even collect taxes. It's crazy. That's gonna be big problems financially in the next couple of years with the state. I don't know what they're gonna do, but I wouldn't even be surprised if Maura doesn't run again. That's just me.
Oh, I would. I can't imagine it.
I don't think she wants to. I would personally. I don't think she would.
I don't admire the governor. I don't really know. I don't follow her. I don't like some of the antics that she's pulled off. But yesterday on a close-up on one of the TV stations, she looks wicked tired.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I know her. I know her as well as I know you guys. I mean, she looks really tired. She's been through a lot in her own personal life. I know that. I don't think Kim walked into something to the lieutenant governor that she really expected to.
Oh.
She was in Chelsea. She did a good job in Chelsea. She was a good mayor of Salem. She's not like Karen Polito coming into the State House. Karen Polito had already been a state rep. That helps out a lot.
Yeah.
You walk into the State House and you have it's a culture shock. And then if you have a House Speaker who was a legislative aide with me who is just going to sit and watch you sink. And I think Karen Spoke is trying to help out somewhere, but I don't think
the Speaker has
I don't think it's not much.
is incredible.
What's that?
The power the Speaker has is incredible. We'll say, for instance, you're a rep from this region. And the Speaker says, Greg, you need to vote this way. No, I can't. I got to vote with my heart.
Yeah.
And the rep will look right, the Speaker of the House will look right at you and say, if you don't vote,
Yeah. I know. I've been
I want
there.
you to vote,
Right.
there'll be no new Rourke Bridge.
Yeah. No, I know what you're saying.
And that shuts you right up and,
Right.
you'll take away the bridge. He can't. The money's in the pipeline.
Right.
But
Yes,
John,
I will.
then you have
Right.
a situation where that's how Tommy McGee ran it.
Yeah.
And
Tommy
then
did
there
run
was
it
an
down.
uprising, and Tommy McGee ended up in the basement.
Yeah, I watched him do that, and I watched, what's his name, Charlie
That's the
Flaudie.
current situation in Boston right now.
But this guy, John, this guy doesn't need the votes. You do that when you need the votes. He doesn't need the votes. It's just like overwhelmingly that way. It's like,
That's the brick he has in his back pocket. He can take your
Oh,
windshield off
absolutely.
anytime
But
he wants.
years ago, they used to use it like every week. Every week.
Is it-
That's why Lambros was never chairman. They offered him chairman of natural resources. He said, no way, because he wanted to be able to keep that. His big thing was he got the sewer and water bill through, which saved Duck Island. 50% of the chemicals are paid for by the Commonwealth.
Chairmanship just means 40 grand in your pocket, doesn't it?
Well, this was years ago. It didn't really do that. But it
But
gave you a lot of
today-
authority when you had 240 members,
2025.
Yeah, it's a lot different today.
It's 40 grand in your pocket.
Well, you don't even have
And the
to be a
Speaker
chairman.
can say, I'm going to take away your chairmanship.
You don't even have to be a chairman, just be a division leader. Whichever, and you can make
And
more.
the Speaker can take that away anytime.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
And
yeah.
they do. Look at
Yeah.
Colleen. I mean,
Yeah.
she doesn't vote with them,
Yeah,
and she's in the basement.
yeah. I mean,
I don't know
who
if they
cares
moved
what your
up.
He's
office
the
is?
chairman of nothing.
Yeah, and who cares? It really, unless that's why you should be only focusing on 2 or 3 bills, not 85 of them.
Well-
Like Nick always had 2 or 3, and he got the treatment plant bill through to save the taxpayers.
Why do we keep making
50%
every
cost.
year? There are hundreds of bills.
You never really, I remember Nick made that speech years ago. Everything you pass, you're restricting something we can do. And most reps back in those days used to carry 2 or 3 bills, maybe 4. I mean, a lot of times it's like political, I just want to be seen signing onto this and so. There's no way you can handle all that stuff, and there's no way you're going to get through any of it. I knew reps back in those days that had to come home and wanted to say, well, the bill I filed, they didn't file it, they signed on to. It got the 3rd reading and almost got to the House floor, so they would go back the session before and look for bills that got the 3rd reading and sign on to them because they knew they were going to make 3rd reading again, even though they had wanted nothing to do with it. Just looked like they could get something through the House. When the reality was getting something substantial through, like the chemical cost bill for treatment plants that Nick did with putting together a bunch of reps around the Commonwealth.
Let's look at the delegation law, except for Rodney,
Yeah.
who knows the system. How many bills has Vanna Howard?
I'd have to look at it.
The Cowardly Lion? Nothing. The Cowardly Lion's done nothing by herself. She'll say, I lagged on, I'm part of this bill, So are 50 other state reps.
Yeah, I mean, it's,
I'm gonna read these three
focus
texts.
on one or two and that's it,
Create your own. Where's all the money going? With the amount of weed places and gambling, one of the most successful lotteries in the country, now hat in hand, disgusting people.
Well, again, they legalized marijuana. They told us this is going to bring us all kinds of money. I look at it and think,
And they blew it.
Where does it go? And then there's no accountability of all those taxes.
Well, if you look at, what is
Hiring
it?
your brother. I got two more texts.
Okay.
Speaking of the Rourke Bridge, the audio from the public hearing was terrible and difficult to understand. Sad to hear that, but,
Yeah, and then, what was that?
Yeah.
and he got DW, whoever DW was. Yes, John, the
Yeah.
Speaker of the House runs Massachusetts. It's
Yeah.
been that way for decades.
Yeah.
Back over to you guys.
Well,
Yeah,
it's,
well-
now there's no, although the Republicans are beginning to run people.
Well, I'll tell you, that statement can be true to a certain degree, but I saw it the other way. Bill Weld isolated the Speaker by working with the Senate President. Paul Cellucci isolated the Speaker by working with the Senate President. And
Well, yes.
so it can seem that way, but I actually saw it with three governors that isolated the Speaker, and they got enough votes out of the House to get what
The
they want.
Senate,
So
that might-
the Speaker
yeah.
can if they do it in a proper way, because they got more votes, but not necessarily. The governor can pick up the phone and get a rep to vote for him on something whenever they need it, regardless of
It
the
used to
Speaker.
be a change, though, like Morris Stein, he was all education.
Yep.
Then you had Kevin Harrington come
Kevin
in.
Harrington, I started,
And there was a
he was
big,
there when I was there.
yeah, big change.
Yeah, big change, yeah.
So,
And then Billy Bulger came in. He was in the House side. He came in after that, but he worked with Weld. I remember walking around the corner one morning, coming from Senator Tully's office, and Senator Billy Bulger was there. And he used to treat kids. When I was a kid, mentored you. And he said, "Hey, Greg," I go, "Oh, Mr. President,
yes,
how are
he
you?"
was-
He says,
he
"You
was
see that guy?"
charming.
And Weld just walking away. He goes, "He just gave me a list. He has 3 things he wants." He says, "I can have the rest. I can work with a governor like that."
yeah.
And that was it.
But
And
they
he
don't
said-
have to now.
Yeah, right.
I mean, the governor and the speaker, they're all in the same pot.
Well, I mean, I look at when Nick was a rep. I remember in 79 or 80, the Globe did this big front page story. The state budget hits $1 billion in 1980, right? What's it today? 64 billion?
But who does anything? We don't
But think
have
about that,
the
60
newspapers. We don't have
Yeah,
the.
but I'm just saying, think about that.
We
Linda,
have
from
too many
1980,
employees.
you're talking
That's what
45
eats-
years,
That's
right?
what eats up.
Yeah,
When I started to
64
run
billion, wow,
my
it's
little
crazy.
company, the biggest expense that any company has is payroll.
Right,
And this business of let's look at our own city. We're blowing out of, we have so many employees, we need to buy another building. The city council has got to look at itself and say, stop hiring people.
Well,
Stop it.
well, your bureaucracy
it
grows.
shouldn't be the biggest employer in the city.
It's not, they're taking away more property in downtown Lowell off the tax rolls, and this Golden's just giving us the bill. Here you go.
I don't know, I just look at the state, and it's the same thing in Washington. I think Trump is right. I mean, he's talking about the 1,500 people laid off in the State Department. He grew by 80,000, the State Department, over the last 30 years. 80,000.
Yeah.
He should get rid of FEMA and give it back to the states.
Yes.
FEMA does a lot better with the locals, to give them more money, break off, you don't need that. Homeland
Yeah.
Security, we created that when this whole, Massachusetts did, because we carried the 9/11 thing for New York and everything.
Yeah.
And you could really take them and incorporate them into the U.S. Marshal's office and cut a big chunk of it out. But FEMA used to show up in emergencies, just bring trailers, and then they turn around and tell the state tell us what to do. We're already doing it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things can be done. So
Oh.
you go back to Massachusetts, the same thing here. I mean, the other day I'm listening to a scanner retired now, and there's environmental police up at Tewksbury, Lake Mascuppick and Drake.
Yeah.
The environmental police never came east of Worcester before. Now there's so many of them. You don't need a lot of things. You can go through the state agencies and say, okay, we can get rid of this, and really that's what you need to do.
This guy is brilliant. I call her the Cowardly Lion. Bart renames the Howardly Lion.
Who's that?
The guy's name's Bart. I don't know who the texters are. If they sign their name, they sign their name.
Oh, no, I was just wondering who the Howard.
Who the Howardly Lion is? That'd be Vanna
Vanna
Howard.
Howard.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I need another coffee, John. Your coffee is good, but I got to make it a little stronger
What
for
are
me.
you smoking
Yeah.
this morning?
No, I mean, that's why I
He
said
says,
that.
I love it. Can I use it? I will give you credit, John.
Yes.
Brilliant
yes.
part.
No, I agree.
I like that, John. That's a good one.
The Cowardly Lion.
But you know, it's like anything. The government. She's a lovely lady. She's a very pleasant woman.
There's no politician.
But nobody's
out there that's
accountable, John.
fantastic.
Nobody knows
No.
what. Now,
Right.
you have to give credit to Tommy Golden and the delegation we had in the past.
We had in the
You know what,
past.
just a second now. Let me
Yeah.
ask the brain trust at the table.
Yeah.
Tell me two things that Tommy Golden did in his 30 years as a state rep. Just two.
Well, I know he carried a lot of the stuff in the house that Stevie had when he was Senate Ways and Means.
Along with a lot of other people.
Well,
What did Tom Golden exclusively bring?
But Tommy pretty much, with the leadership position he was in, was able to carry more for Steve than.
You can't name anything, can you?
Well, yeah, I mean, University of Lowell, they built it so they can do this project. All those buildings they got and stuff like that.
He didn't do it by himself. It
No,
wasn't
Steve
his
did. Steve
idea.
did Ways and Means.
Peter Giatakis pressed his pants.
No, he did, but he got it out of the, Stevie got
It
it
was
in
a
the Senate.
delegation.
But when it goes into the House, you got to
All
carry.
Peter Giatakis. He was the brains.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying
I
that.
understand that, but it's just
Golden did nothing.
No,
You had-
Stevie left the House. The Speaker didn't really care for Stevie too much, to be honest with
Well, he
you.
knows he was a do-nothinger.
Huh?
He knows he's a do-nothinger.
Yeah, no, Tom carried a lot of that, to be honest with you, yeah. I mean, I know he did, because I was, because he was what, like John Bill's on third reading, he moved up.
Yeah.
You have to have somebody, so Tommy did do a lot of that
you
stuff.
had a good delegation that worked together whenever
We
you
had a
needed
delegation,
anything.
we don't have one now, yeah.
No,
We haven't
whenever
had
you
one. We have
need
Rodney and,
anything
you
in
know,
Lowell, I mean, as
That's
far
not
as
that well, I don't think.
One at a
right?
time, kids, one at a time.
the train station, that came through that delegation.
Yeah, Route 3.
Yeah.
Route 3, they extended
You
Route 3
say
by
they.
another.
I want to know what he did.
Well, they work on stuff together, John. They would have meetings
Can't
and
be
work on
one
stuff
person.
together. Because if you file
They would
something in the
just
House,
say-
if you file something in the House, you don't work with your senator, you're not going to get it through. So we used to, even Nick, we would file something in the House, go sit with Joe Tully.
I've been around
And then
as
Phil
long.
Shea.
I've been around as long as Tommy Golden has, and nobody can convince me that he was the brainchild of anything that came out of the State House at the time when he was down there.
But I'm
He
good.
would tag on to good ideas, grab on to good, like the Cowardly Lion, Vanna Howard.
No, I think it's a little different. I think that
Yeah.
our delegation,
Yeah.
the delegation in Lowell, that you had
The
Kevin
delegation,
Murphy,
it
you
was
had
all-
Dave Nangle, and you had Topher.
Penny
And-
Giatakis, Murphy, those two, Dave Nangle, tag along, just a tag along.
Yeah.
Nah, but you had Joe Tully before him. It was
You have to have
they
carry
had the
something.
votes.
Yeah.
The luckiest thing we have right now is Rodney Elliott.
Yes.
Oh, yeah,
That's
I
the only
agree.
thing you have right
Right.
now.
Now we got Eddie Kennedy as well.
Yeah. But I don't know what's the story with that. I haven't seen him in a while.
But Tara's
hope he's
brand
okay
spanking new, he
physically,
can't do it, he's swinging like crazy. And Vanna, she's the Cowardly Lion, just sitting there.
Yeah. Right.
What can I lick this week?
No, I mean, but the point is, don't even have to just look at them two here. You can multiply that by 10 if you go down to Boston, see some of the reps and reps. You wouldn't believe it, how useless a lot of them are. They're just by the nose, John. Same thing. They're not leaders like they were years ago.
But that
I mean, there's
delegation,
still some, but not like they were years ago.
they brought the university with Marty. I'm not a big fan of Marty Meehan,
Yeah.
but the whole delegation with Marty Meehan,
Yeah, Marty worked that.
he worked it, but he had something to work with
Right.
because he had the
Marty-
votes.
Marty, through today, is all about the guy in the mirror, me first.
That's what a lot of them are, but that's, that happens with a lot of people. I mean,
They all become millionaires when they go to Washington.
I mean, that's the thing, but that happens
And
with a lot
that's
of
got to
people. We're not
stop
as
too,
strong.
but the people keep electing them. The people have to
Right.
get savvy and start paying attention. I'm sorry. Well, let's look at what's happening in New York City. The people want the government to run them. They have no idea because they have never experienced. We don't teach history anymore. They're not teaching history, so we're going to just repeat the nonsense. They don't. I never thought in my lifetime I'd see anti-Semitism. I can't even believe it. I can't wrap my head around that.
I mean,
It
all the
just
racial
wasn't
stuff,
there.
yeah, all the racial stuff that started, that was gone in the 60s.
Yeah, I
we
thought
didn't
we
even
saw
experience
that.
much of it, yeah.
Title IX. I worked my
Yeah, well.
butt off for Title IX.
Linda, you grew up around here. We had nicknames for everybody, okay, whether you were
Yes,
Italian,
yes.
Portuguese, Irish, there were nicknames, and we just laughed about it.
But that's the point. They were not, in a sense, affectionate in a way.
We were friends.
Friends, yeah.
We were friends. I
right.
had plenty of French, Italian, Portuguese, all these different ethnic
we
groups.
I never saw color. I never saw race. I never saw religion. We just
We were
went
brought up
in
different,
low
yeah,
high.
yeah.
You know, over 1,000 in my class.
Yep,
in fact,
same with me.
my 60th reunion is today.
Wow.
Wow.
You having a party?
Yeah, Princeton Station.
Wow.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah, Helen
Right,
McGuire,
Yeah.
probably one of the oldest friends.
Oh, yeah, I was actually 50 next year in Drake for me. Yeah.
So it's kind of.
But if you look at, believe it or not, I was flicking through channels, and I don't usually watch the TV, but my wife had left it on before she had to go to a business thing. And I was flicking through the channels. I saw this thing on CNN, and this guy's talking about something Trump was doing, and explained it logically the way it was. And then this one lady, a black woman, says, "I don't believe the thing you just said because you're white." Well, that's just not a good enough answer. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But and she makes other black folk look bad who are like, what is she? These people started this thing on both sides like this to create a ruffle between where 99%. That's why they say that the country's split down the middle. It's not split down the middle. The country's
Not-
not
not-
split.
not in the real world.
It's like 90-10. They're in bad shape if they want to lift up their fist and take a swing. People still get along pretty damn well.
Yeah.
It's just disgusting that they would
I think-
say
yeah.
something like that, and they allow it they sit there and they don't say nothing back to her on the host on the show, going, "What are you talking about? That's not logical."
No.
You know, I mean, come on. It's just crazy stuff, John, you know.
I think the rest of the country, I like to think of most of the rest of the country being normal, except for California, of course.
Well, yeah, and there's a lot of people out there, like I said, we don't know what they're doing voting-wise. It's
But
crazy.
if New York,
Yeah.
if they don't elect the guy that I don't,
I hope they elect them. I do. I hope they
let's
do. I
have
want them to see what they got.
communal living and all this. My goodness, what are they going to do with that?
If,
And he
if
might
I
be
were in
able-
New York City, I'd be voting for Adams. Better
Yeah.
the devil I know than the
Yeah.
devil I don't know.
Yeah.
If you live there, but I just, like I said, the way I look at it is more of those people get elected in states like that. That means when redistricting comes, the census in 2028 for 30, more people will leave and the congressional seats will go somewhere else, which
Yeah.
is going to happen again.
Yeah.
Because they can't count the illegals if they're not here, and they were counting them.
Yeah.
Because there's 8 states that shouldn't have retained. We in Massachusetts, for the first time since I was 40 years in the State House, we didn't lose a seat. That was like, really? I mean, seriously? We always lost a seat, or 2 seats. We always
Yeah.
lost one. We didn't the last time around? Please. You know, I mean, it's craziness. They're not, you're disenfranchising real Americans. We'll see what happens.
But I
We'll
don't
see what
know
goes.
if it's going to change the mass because it's a sanctuary state.
But
Until
they-
until the voters decide, look, we want to be like the rest of the country. We want to.
There's a lot of these folks that
have-
can't, they shut off their funding and their money now. They're not going to get the Social Security, and Congresswoman was right. There's a lot of people, well, she said they're going to die, but there's like, there was something like 600,000 people in Massachusetts that we know of that are here illegal. Well, they're shutting that off. But the American citizens out, they're going to probably get more
Yeah, but-
money because of, you know.
Now, Maura Healey brought them all and said, sanctuary state, come one.
They're still here, right? But
Yes,
ICE is in
but
ICE is in
and
Massachusetts.
now she's decided, oh,
Yeah.
well, I'm going to shut down all the shelters, I'm going to do X, Y.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, and then they say, why don't they say she's inhumane? It's like Mike Dukakis when he closed all the mental hospitals.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
I know they were in bad condition. Fix them. Don't take these poor
Right.
people that cannot help themselves.
Right, put them on the street.
And put them on, and what did they do? They didn't think of the next step, right? The hospital is in bad condition.
Right.
So where else are you going to put them?
Well, how is Trump able to fire these people where they can't do it in Massachusetts because the unions won't let them? But yet,
Oh, it isn't
Trump's
just the
gonna-
unions in
Trump's
Massachusetts.
going
Well,
to
you
fire most of the State Department.
You could still fire them in Massachusetts, it's just you're going to have to be in a fight with the union, that's it.
The government
But the
is
governor has control over everybody, and,
going to read these 3.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Jabba the Hutt. It keeps getting bigger.
Yeah, but it's got to stop somewhere.
It's horrible media. If
Right.
the horrible media did its job and held the disgusting politicians accountable for their actions,
well,
it'll never get better.
yeah, anything run by people and human beings is gonna, I mean, I remember one time.
Last one is, it's today's society, name calling will break your bones, but sticks to the stones what you throw at the cops.
Yeah.
Sad
Isn't
but
that
true.
sad? Isn't
Yeah.
that sad? But that's exactly what sticks and stones may break your
Yeah.
bones.
But I remember,
never heard
like I
it.
said, with people in general, how, and you elect somebody that they get frustrated when they change. I remember one time in Drake, I was, a kid working for Nick again, and one of the selectmen, they were setting up a committee on public safety. And all it was supposed to do was look at all the stop signs in Drake, and Nick was on public safety committee in Boston, so Warren Shaw asked me to be his appointment. And each of the selectmen appointed somebody. And it was just to look at the stop signs, make recommendation if we needed more or less, stuff like that. Well, the guy who we made the chairperson for this just a temporary committee, right? Who used to get up at town meeting all the time, say how we're spending too much money, doing all this and everything, says, I think the first order of business, he says, and I remember the kid's name, but I don't want to say it because he's not a kid anymore, but he bangs the guy, he said, the first order of business, we need to ask for a $5,000 budget. Now, back then, that's like asking for 15 grand. I go, wait a minute, you're the guy that's always up at town meeting. What do we need 5,000 for? To do what? We're just going to look at all the stop signs and all of a sudden you're sitting in the selectman's chair doing this, right, and the chairman. Now all of a sudden he's appointed to a committee, he thinks he's somebody, and he can't do what you were always screaming and yelling. Now you get a little authority and it goes to your head. That happens with a lot of people, unfortunately, and we don't know who they are when they're running. You don't know who they are.
Yeah, but I blame, again, I'm going to go back to the voters in Tingsboro.
Yep.
We had a 43-minute town meeting.
Yeah.
That's disgusting, and shame on them.
Yeah.
Shame on them. I just, you get what you deserve. I mean,
Right.
you like the politicians, you don't even know who they are. I
you
like
don't vote at all.
I like what she's wearing, or he's cute, or some bizarre thing.
Yeah.
Or that he says the right things. He doesn't mean them. In his heart, he's not thinking that.
Right.
It's so, you say exactly what you want, you think the people want you to say and want to hear. And so they get what they deserve. And you're right as far as New York. They get what they deserve.
I hope they elect the I just want to see it all
Of course,
qualified.
well, it is,
And-
because
and,
everybody that has the money is going to move out.
Yeah.
And you're saying, what did we see in Massachusetts?
Yeah,
We saw the flight
yeah.
out of
Right.
Massachusetts.
Well, and again, the same thing with the Democratic Party in Massachusetts over the last 4 years. I think 300,000 people that don't associate with it anymore because it doesn't represent what we did as Democrats.
Okay,
are gone.
what has happened to
They
the
become
Democrats?
unenrolled.
Unenrolled is the big thing, and John's been,
Yeah.
and that's been going on for years. And going back
But
to
it's-
politicians and how they used to run the House and the Senate and
Yeah.
everything, it wasn't run by, the majority was not unenrolled. It was Republican and Democrat.
Right.
You usually had a Republican governor and the Democratic Senate
Right.
president.
Well, there's been more
We'll be
governors.
back in
yeah.
60 seconds.
Okay.
There we go.
Oh, good.
There we are.
John's turned the mics back on. That's always a good sign. I'm Linda Bown. I'm your host this morning, and Greg Pappas, former legislative aide, and all kinds of, has
All kinds of
worn
things.
many hats, but the last was doing the elections in Lowell, and how do you think, because you came in when they changed the district, when they changed the,
It was an election after they had changed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and how is that? Because I've talked to you in the past, and the legality of all of that, how that came down.
Yeah.
Is it, did they do things by the book there?
The court, I don't know who it seems like the court order is very odd.
It is very odd.
I mean, I don't see how, like I said, in the case of getting signatures, how you can be a district councilor and get them outside your district. I mean, that's what the current director has to follow. I had to follow it too, but it doesn't make sense. It'd just be like saying that Colleen Gary could get signatures in Pawtuckettville and she doesn't represent it,
Well,
It's just odd stuff.
Absolutely, and you have like, let's take Colin Gary,
Yeah.
and people can all relate to this. She represents Tingsboro, Drake, and Dunstable.
Right,
She has to get the Dunstable signature in Dunstable.
right, yeah.
You know, and-
To certify them by town, yeah.
Yeah, and so that's still as it is, but in Lowell, it's not that way. It is a bizarre system.
Only for the city.
Yeah.
But the state, I mean, the city.
yeah, the
reps
state
have
is a
to-
whole different-
But
of
the
course.
city thing, it just doesn't make any sense because I always told the councilors, the district councils, I would get my 150 in the district, and if you get any extras, that's fine. I would just make sure I got 150 going in, because if somebody challenged you, you don't know what,
For the
and
city.
a judge might turn around and say, you're off the ballot, what are you getting signatures outside your district? Well, they said we could. Well, they're wrong.
Okay, now,
You know.
now, running the elections in Lowell and going back
Well,
is,
he's got that in writing, though. He sent out a pamphlet. The new guy, Will, I think.
Yeah, we'll just follow on what the court order is, but I think the court order could be challenged in court, because it's not, doesn't make sense that, let me put it to you this way, people in Pawtuckaville can turn around and run a candidate in the Highlands,
They can sign your papers.
they
All
can
it
run a
means
candidate.
Oh, that's running
But
a
you know what I'm
can-
saying, John?
Well,
You
you
could
are-
turn around and say, okay, we don't like that guy in the Highlands, we're gonna get 150 signatures in Pawtuckaville and pick a friend of ours from the Highlands, and we're gonna get him the whole 150 in Pawtuckaville so he can run or she can run against the councilor in Highlands. It doesn't make any sense.
well,
When I sign papers, there's papers
Yeah.
right in front of you there.
Yeah,
When I sign papers, all it means is I'm okay with, what does it mean when I sign that paper? What does it mean?
I mean,
You were the election big cheese commissioner,
yep.
so what does it mean when I
Director.
sign somebody's election papers? What does
Yeah.
it mean?
The law requires, in other words, 150 signatures have to be certified, 150 people signed who are registered voters in that district, but they don't do it that way, so, and it's not Will's fault, I had to do it too, to get you on the ballot. You need 150 signatures to get on the ballot,
here comes Mike Dillon.
Hey, Mike.
Well, that's what John, it's just to get you on the ballot.
just to get you on the ballot, yeah.
But let's follow that through. I mean, I shouldn't be able to sign your papers to be on the ballot
Right.
if I'm living in the Highlands and you're
Right.
living in District 4. I mean, it makes no sense.
Right.
Except that Vogue School does exactly the same thing. They ran the chief of police in Dunstable.
Right.
And
Well, they're spread, they run in all the whole, as one big area.
yes.
So
But
they can-
Lowell's going to run that district,
But
Lowell's going to run
now-
that school committee.
Right. But what I'm saying, John, is that you
Hello,
can't do that in a
Mike.
state rep district. In other words, if somebody in Drake wants to run a candidate against Vanna Howard, they would have to go to Vanna Howard's district and get the 150 signatures for that person. They can't get them in Drake. You see what I'm saying? It just doesn't make sense.
Well, see, like, when you carry it over
They
to,
don't.
once you're elected, how can the person from District 3 vote on the school? How
How can
can
they
the
what?
person in District 3 vote on anything that's just not in their district?
It's all in their district. The school budget covers the whole, doesn't matter where the schools are, the
So
schools are
across- So if I'm
citywide.
in District 3,
Yep,
so I'm in this district,
yep,
and you live in Pawtuckaville, you want a crosswalk.
yep.
How is it I'm allowed to vote on a crosswalk in a district that's not mine?
No, I know what you're saying, but it's just like state issues. In the legislature, if you're going to vote on issues that pertain to a home rule petition in Drake, and you're from Somerville, it's a statewide issue. They're not.
So they want a new firehouse in Pawtuckaville.
Yeah,
How can people in this neighborhood?
Right.
How can the district rep in this neighborhood vote for that firehouse?
yeah,
Not in
because
this
the
district.
budget is a budget for the whole city.
The budget,
So
and you
you-
assume, you.
I know what you're saying,
You're
Joe.
working with this to try to get a
Yeah,
firehouse in your district.
Yeah.
I mean, you gotta work together. That's what they haven't
I'm
been doing.
okay with any Tom, Dick, and Mary who lives in Lowell can sign papers. I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
Well, if you're running at large,
I
what
can
do you-
see that, yeah.
Let's
The-
talk
the
to Mike,
silliness-
he
The
ran.
silliness of me having to go and chase 150 people to put myself on the ballot is disgusting.
well,
What?
it should be 50, really, to be honest with you, but.
Wait a minute,
For
wait,
district.
What do I need
Wait,
any
wait,
signatures
wait,
for?
wait.
I can, Linda, what is the problem? Why can't I just go down to Greg's office, say, I want to run for Grand Poobah in the city of Lowell?
Yeah,
If you can't, let me just say this.
Why do I
Yeah.
have to go and chase 150 signatures? It's silly.
Because you're representing those people in the district, and that's what people are forgetting.
That's
Yeah.
what voting day's for.
No, if you can't get 150 signatures in your district that you're supposed to be
Means people don't want you to
representing.
run.
Shame on you and shame on the
I understand the
people.
logic, Linda, but tell me the legality why I have to do it.
It's
Well,
a-
that's a state law.
Oh, so's doing 65.
Yeah. Federal law, too.
Wow.
Henry, you got
25.
any comments?
25 in this city.
Yeah.
Don't forget it.
25 what?
Miles per hour.
Yep.
Have they tagged people for that?
I don't know.
I don't understand. Why did they raise the speed limit to 25?
They put it
They
down.
lowered it, yeah.
What do you mean it was 20 and Massachusetts state law is
Uh-oh.
20 miles an hour in a congested area?
Here we go.
So I couldn't, I said that to a neighbor, he's putting a sign up one time, I said to him,
That's
what are you doing?
Massachusetts, man. This is Lowell.
Well,
You
it
don't
still
get it.
comes under state, yeah. I said,
No, I
"What are
think
you
that's
doing?"
a state.
That's horse,
Yeah.
horse and buggy.
The state is 20 miles an hour in a congested area.
But I gotta get Paul
So
going.
why'd you increase why you increase it? You guys said slow down to me one day. I goes, I slowed the car down. I goes, I'm only going 22. I says, but the point is this, why are you raising the speed? He goes, what are you talking about? I go, state law. It says, this is a congested neighborhood. It's 20 miles an hour, not 25.
Greg, as soon as I cross the city line, going to
Yeah.
Chensford,
Oh, I know,
Tewksbury,
I know. Brookline.
there's a sign right there, 35.
Yeah.
As soon as, you know the
Yeah,
the
yeah.
city line,
Yeah.
35.
Well, remember years ago, you used to set up speed traps that way, remember? Well, Georgetown,
Oh,
going through
but
Georgetown.
New Hampshire still does it. Watch
Yeah.
it. You watch it if you're
Yeah.
going into Hudson.
If you're going into Georgetown there, you're cutting through that one little small area, it's like 40 and all of a sudden it's 25.
Yeah. You come off the
Yeah.
highway.
But I'm just saying, I don't understand why they got 25 when the state law in congested areas is 20.
And who enforces it?
But I'm just saying, that's, I said that the kids putting all the signs out at City Hall, I goes, what are you guys doing? You're raising the speed limit in the towns, in the neighborhoods? The last time I checked, it was 20. I mean,
Yeah.
Like any interesting incidents with the fire department over the last month?
Michael's back.
We got a lot of new trucks, John. I don't know if you've been paying attention, but we got.
I see them going by their red, black wheels.
And their wheels are all working and everything's fine.
Yeah, we're engine 7, the new engine 7 from Pine Street
Yeah?
is like, I'm seeing pictures come in. It's seems like it should be. It may just need to be like tags on it and maybe like radios installed or something, but it's going to be in service soon. So that's
Who's-
like going to be the whole fleet.
Do you think, okay, and I remember talking to you way back, and
Yep.
we're very happy about this. Does it include a maintenance program?
Good question.
Because that doesn't that
our-
become the issue?
That's
Look at
our.
Linda, in Lowell, it's just, I
My guess
could
would be
hire your
no.
brother, I could fix that truck. What do you want me to do?
Wow.
Oh,
Lowell has too many employees and doesn't know what maintenance is.
That would be typical us, though. We would buy, 13 new trucks, and all between the 2023 and 2025, and with no plan into the foreseeable future to fix them.
well, didn't you do it with the, and we talk about the delegation, here's something that Tommy Gold and them did. They brought all those junior highs into Lowell. You had a whole bunch of them, but they never maintained them. You had
Sure.
them in every neighborhood. That's what the delegation brought to Lowell.
Delegation, what did he do?
Well, he was part of it. Well, what's happened?
He just tagged along. It's like, hey, we're going to the beach. And he jumped in the backseat of the car.
What's unique about
Wasn't his idea to go to the beach?
Yeah.
Oh, you going to the beach? I'd like to go to the
Okay,
beach.
let me ask you this: how is Rodney able to bring stuff to? Because he's working alone,
Right.
Pretty much. That's pretty hard. If he had a delegation and a senator with him that worked
They don't
with,
talk to one another. The state reps
but they
don't.
used to. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They used to.
Yeah.
Not no more.
Yeah, well, I agree.
But-
But that thing with the Lowell delegation, like when Johnny Cox was the chairman of the, that's unique to Lowell. You go to Boston, you'd think there'd be a Boston delegation with 35 state
Right.
reps. They don't even talk to each other.
They-
A lot of them argue
and
with
they
each
got
other.
things done.
So they do it they did it in a group, and Draker would get involved sometimes.
Yeah.
And you go, and you would work the other reps and senators, and you'd be surprised. We had a very popular, for many years.
We
Absolutely.
have a city manager that does not communicate with the state reps or the state senator.
Well, today?
Does not. Today.
Well,
Tommy Golden does not
Well, I saw-
talk to Rodney.
Well,
Roy.
they don't
I saw
do
Ed
anything.
several times come in and out of his office. Seen Rodney in there a lot when I was there, in the city hall.
I assure you, July
Yep.
2025.
Yep. Oh, I mean, I'm talking before last year, every time, yeah. But
July 2025. Golden doesn't talk to Kennedy, doesn't talk to Elliott. I haven't seen Tara Hung to ask him. And Vanna Howard, the Cowardly Lion, I haven't talked to her at all.
The Cowardly Lion. I mean, I'm not saying you're wrong there, but I've seen them in there before I left last year, but, lots of times.
From what I'm told,
Yeah.
Golden has over $100,000 of state money he never spent. And yet he has no trouble digging in our pockets for more money.
Oh, maybe you need to get Thomas in here, have him sit down with the,
Doesn't respond to my calls.
huh?
I don't think he'd come in. But
Okay.
anyway, so Mike,
It's okay.
what's happening in the school department? By the way, Mike Dillon, former school committee member.
Good morning.
You came in while we were
Got a
bantering
little bit
back
of a
and forth.
sunburn too. Have you had fires outside or you been on vacay?
He was down the
Vacation.
Where?
Okay.
Been on vacation for a while, yeah. Yeah, no, been out of the, been
I can
out-
see
been
Mike
off
on the
the
top of the ladder taking his helmet off,
Yeah.
enjoying the sun.
Well, I can see
I've
you
got
more
plenty of sun now.
relaxed.
Yeah. Beach, North Conway, kind of did the whole, it's over now, though. Back, yeah.
Welcome back to the
Yep.
real world.
Back to normal.
But that's nice if we're getting new fire trucks. I think there is a big plus because I remember a few years ago, we were really pushing for that.
Well, yeah, and
And
Even-
you were a big help on that because you'd come
even
in.
when they got, even when the plan got put in place, people were still skeptical.
Yeah.
Is it really going to come through? And they've come through pretty steadily.
But I'll give you credit. You were on all the time with me, and I think that's the key to getting some things done.
Be the loudest.
Yes,
Be the
the
loudest,
squeaky
yeah.
wheel,
Yep.
but if nobody's out there fighting for it, and that, I guess, has been one of my issues with the teachers and the conditions of the schools. The physical conditions they're trying to work with, and their ability, as we said earlier, to teach the kids.
Mm-hmm.
The teachers have to step up and tell their union,
Sure.
stop this. But again, it comes down, I know it comes down, we all, I guess, want money, but
We need normal people on a school committee also.
Yes.
We got, I don't know.
But-
Too much policy. Everybody's got to add something new when they get elected.
That's
Like,
what we're
we
talking
need
about,
more
yeah.
policy and need more no.
That's-
We need to start stripping back. We need to start looking at all our old policy, eliminating pages from it.
it's
And-
called
It's like the
recodification.
legislature filing 25 bills instead of 2 or 3.
I fell into the same thing. Where you get in there and you're like, I'm going to add this and we're going to do this and make
See?
these changes, and
What we were talking
it
about.
just is so bloated.
Yeah.
And the teachers and principals are handcuffed in a lot of ways. And
I
the
agree,
next
Mike.
committee's going to come in and do the same thing. More policy, more policy, more policy. And
So where does the superintendent fit in this whole thing? You've got a new superintendent.
he has to be a magician. He has to play the game, jump through the hoops, and sell every decision that he has to the committee, and make sure that it goes by their idea of what the policy should be, and kind of dance.
And
Unfortunately,
so they decide, because they're going to fight you. How many, let's see, how many votes?
Well, you
I
want-
don't know I've lost track of how many people are on the school
6.
committee, the districts.
6 in the mayor, 7 votes. Yep.
Okay.
Mayor's
so
the
you-
breaker.
Okay, so you just need the votes to,
Yeah, you want to. The idea is hire a good superintendent and let him go. But
he's trying,
real
isn't he?
difficult for us to do.
Yeah. It's interesting, the school committee is so small, though. 6 people for a city like Lowell. I mean, the towns have 5.
Yeah.
You would think there'd be more people with such a big issue, You'd think they'd have like, 8 or something,
Well, when
We
they
can't
did
get
the
people to run
district-
though, either,
That's the same
Can't
case
find
everywhere.
that many, yeah.
Yet that happens no matter what office you're talking about.
But
Yeah.
isn't it the generation, and I don't blame you. I mean, look what they did to you, and I look what they did to Robson and Tingsboro. They beat you up. So why would anybody want to run? Before, it used to be, the ballots were full with people running. It was a
Oh,
real
yeah.
contest.
God.
Not everybody, you used to have to be important or do something of stature to get people to hear your voice,
Yeah,
to get in front of a microphone, be on television, make a speech anywhere. you had to be doing something right. You had to be moving in the right direction. And now every idiot has a voice at the tip of their fingers, and everybody's opinion gets out there. Even the most unimportant, least consequential human beings have an opinion on every single event that happens, and that makes things really difficult.
Well, it is, but it shouldn't hold the weight as much as it should be the.
It shouldn't, but it does.
Always did.
It does.
Well, yes,
It always
no,
did. I remember years ago, state reps, and you're sitting as a kid in the committee, and you get 10 people would call on the phone telling the rep to change I want you to vote this way, I want you to vote this way, and I'd listen to the different reps, because there were like 12 of them in the committee with us, right? And our office was set up by committees. And by the end of the day, they would tell you, oh, I had 35 people call, I had 40 people call, they had 10. I mean, it's just like, I got to change my vote, I got 15 people called. No, you had 10, rep.
Do you think?
Yeah, I just talked to your age, she said you only had 9.
Yeah. Do you think in Lowell?
Voices carry a lot when they're in person.
Well, yes, you're absolutely right, but the parent council was very active. And I don't see that happening. And so if they're not, that's the level. It's like in town when I don't ever want to give up a town meeting. That's the purest form of government.
yeah.
You go in and the people vote for what's going to happen in their community.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the parent council at least used to have the voice. They represented the parents. I'm not seeing, why aren't they there? To say, look.
There's no faith in the parent councils. I participated partially for 1 year, and it's pathetic. They don't really make any decisions anyways. It's
But they should, Mike,
it's not well run at, my kid's school. And it's really, I don't know, I feel like it's a facade for just to satisfy parents that want to squawk.
Well, that's
Yeah.
because
They don't
the
really
parent,
have any
but Mike, isn't that
decision-making,
the parents'
you know?
job to get in and say, look, where are the parents? Okay, you keep seeing on TV, you see everywhere, no matter what channel he just had a commercial, kid 11, he can't read.
Mm-hmm.
That's a problem. We know it's a problem in this country, but let's just try to keep it low, all right? The students cannot read. Where are the parents? You don't know that, I bet you know if your kids can read.
You got to teach your own kid to read.
Well, or be a shaker and roll and go in it.
My kid is held back in our schools
Okay.
each year. Every week, my kid's held back. Because if your kid is anywhere average or above, then your kid's going to be held back.
Oh, yeah, I agree with that. That's everywhere.
Well,
There is no
Yeah.
doubt about
Patrick
it.
started that. He said, we
That's
need to
everywhere.
dumb down.
Yes.
That's
So we'll get
everywhere.
money.
Exactly what
Yeah.
we do.
So we'll get more money from
Right.
the feds.
That's everywhere too, though. He's right.
But
My kid could be, you get these report cards that say, not meeting standard, progressing towards standard, or meeting standard. And everybody goes along, nobody gets graded as above standard on day one.
well,
They
wait a
just
minute, there
don't
are no
do it.
grades per se. You don't get A, B, C, or
Like
not-
a number 1, 2, 3, 4 is
That's
progressing
ridiculous.
towards standard, meeting
Well, again,
standard, and
I'm going to say it.
if my kid walks in on day one and they're already at a standard, they're not going to progress towards the next standard up. They're just going to be have met that standard all year long, and they're not going to.
They don't
It's too
get to
long.
skip grades
It's
anymore
too
either?
much. No, they don't skip grades and they don't stay behind grades either.
Well,
Everybody just gets walked along, no matter how.
so the idea is bring the higher
Well,
ones
they
down to the
read.
lower levels.
It's like a ride at Disney.
What's that, John?
It's like a ride at Disney.
Yeah. It's bizarre.
Sorry you missed Mickey.
So,
So I got the 3 comments I'm gonna, with
There
the
you
amount
go.
of potholes in this city,
There
you
you
can't go over 25 miles an hour.
That's fair. That's.
The city is building several pickleball courts that are going to need maintenance, but no plan for the maintenance of our new fire trucks. What a wonderful manager we have.
Much money.
How much money is spent on maintenance from the school budget? School does not own the city, the city owns the building.
that's true, right?
Yeah.
So,
So when you get down the beach and you rent a place and the door's broken, you don't head out to Home Depot and buy a new door. That's the landlord's problem.
So we're really
The
almost
landlord in
at,
the city of Lowell is, of all the schools, is the city side.
so are we getting to the point that if the planet's around in 10 years, we should sell off all the school buildings, build no more $30 million buildings, take all the money and let the kids stay home and
Have a maintenance
watching on
plan.
TV and
No. Have a maintenance plan. When the roof leaks, I mean,
But I'm just saying overall, when you think about it, John.
I would go to Rogers School
30
on
million,
voting day,
So much
and
money
they would
built
just
on the
hope it
buildings.
wasn't raining.
I'm just saying, so much money spent on buildings of schools that
But,
can't go to
Greg,
education, you know?
In Lowell, we
No,
don't-
I agree with you,
we don't
John.
fix
You
our
gotta
roofs.
maintain something if you have it.
We
There's
buy
no
more
better-
buckets.
Yeah, no, you gotta have it if you got it. I'm just saying, should we keep building these monstrosities, or should you just go to a like, there's a young lady from Drake who does homeschooling, she's licensed.
Awesome.
She's got like thousands of kids, and they pay her, so she's a teacher, pay her so much money. Online, and she does it online, thousands of kids. And she's a good teacher, and she teaches everything. And she'd go first grade right up through high school with the classes. And these kids are all, the parents are raving about us, in other towns. I have some friends in Haverhill that their kid go, and they go, it's better than sending the kid to school. They learn, my kids are already reading stuff in the third grade that we read in the fifth grade.
it's not, I mean, you're still paying X number of dollars. What's the figure in Lowell, 18?
It's probably 17,
but-
16,
Home run
17
lender.
at this point.
It should be parents' responsibility to make sure the kids are progressing.
Yeah,
Most parents are busy playing on their phone.
that's
Yeah,
true.
They're scrolling. They're all scrolling.
Well, they're all
It's-
messed up, yeah.
And they don't know how to engage.
They don't,
I'm seeing it.
Yeah.
They don't know how to engage.
Right.
And because they haven't had to.
We've had
At what
generations
point?
of this. Generations of mothers have stopped teaching their children. So where do you go to
They've
mother school?
coddled them.
Where do you go to mother school?
Well, where did our mothers go to mother school?
They
Or
had-
their mothers
They
go?
had good mothers.
They had a network, though. They did have parents and a family network. You're not
Good
seeing
point.
families. I know Mike Dillon has a big family.
Well, there was
They're
a-
all involved.
Well, there's
and
been a
they all know
national,
what each other are
international
doing.
thing to try to destroy the family, so it's working, I mean.
It has worked, but how do
No.
you get back? I mean, we've got to start with some fundamentals here. And I'm kind of appalled that, listening to Mike talk about the educational system in Lowell, how are you going to compete? I mean, in the real world, I know where they went with all this nonsense that everybody gets an award, nobody's best. But that's not when you go out in the real world and you go for a job, you don't get it or you get it. They don't say, oh, well, we like you, because you're white or black or pink or gray. That's nonsense.
Of course, yeah.
In the real world, if you go into business, they don't really care. They want to make sure you can do the job.
Do the job, and then they have to spend 8 to 10
That's
hours.
why we've had to put money into the government. We had to make the
Right.
government bigger, so all these idiots that can't get jobs anywhere else are working in the government, teaching our kids and running the schools and become our administrators, not necessarily teachers. They're administrators, calling the shots because they can't get a job anywhere else.
AI is going to change all that shortly, so
That's a little scary,
a little, it's a lot. The next
AI's writing their speeches.
Right. I just had a friend, had breakfast with a friend last week, was an attorney, and he said basically from the new software he got from the company that, they all have,
Well-
attorneys have their different companies that they get stuff from. He doesn't even need staff people anymore. He just talks into the AI and says, set me up a contract for da-da-da-da-da. And in like 7 minutes, it's done. And he looks, one of the people who work for him, took like an hour, like a whole day to do the thing. He did it in 7 minutes.
Yeah, but let's go back. Let's start at the top. If the president isn't signing the bills, if he isn't signing,
It's going to fall behind. It's going to
that's
take.
a little.
Oh, yeah. But I'm just saying.
It's got to stop, though.
I'm just saying with AI, though, it's going to be so fast that you're not going to, when something bad happens, by the time the Congress sits down on, well, it's going to be Monday morning. There'll be 3 changes between
Yes and
Monday,
no.
or this weekend and Monday morning on AI, what they'll be doing. It's,
But the machines don't always work.
They're working, well, that's why, what's his name, fixed Gronk and went to Gronk 4, now it works a lot better. They're gonna get better and better. But I mean, think about this, he just did this on Friday, he told me, and basically, he's at the point where he may not need the 3 people working for him now. Now, right now.
Then people have to
You know?
become, well, I want to
don't
go
know
back
what.
to Mike with the school department. What do we do with, if the parents aren't stepping up to be, and having their voices heard in the parent council?
Right.
Parent council is supposed to represent, you got to start at some level, and I would assume that's the basic level that you start with. The parents stepping
Yeah.
up and getting it, real parents, not just, someone that
It's
says.
just too many whiners, and they're the ones that
Right,
we
slow
gotta,
everything down.
we gotta cater to them,
Yep.
and the principals and the school leaders do, because they know that whiny people, unfortunately, we let them get their way.
Because we don't have leaders anymore that
But-
just tell them to go,
Okay,
see
then
you
what,
later.
if my child is
There you go.
parenting, what does that
The
say?
parenting school was, you'll get a beating if you don't do what I tell you. That's not today's, Fred Flintstone's dead. Can't do
Yeah.
that anymore.
Yeah.
Or like
Is
me, they,
texting your show considered playing on your phone, just asking for Jay, for a friend? That's from Bart. Good point.
Yeah,
Back to you guys.
Well, we are slaves to our phones. I know that. We don't even know numbers. I know I don't, and that's a shame. But
In the schools, it's the same thing. It's the same as at a council meeting. We let people walk in and talk everybody's ear off over and over and over and over again, even though that we know there's probably something wrong with them, and we entertain them, and the council bows to them.
let's just say no
And
leaders
the-
anymore. Leaders used to.
Why?
The whiniest,
Because there's no
pushiest
leaders. You know? Years
It's
ago, I remember.
it's all the same.
Yeah.
It's the DEI crap. It's all the sexuality stuff. It's all
Right.
communist ideology.
but isn't it
And
changing?
we're letting it suck us dry.
In Massachusetts.
We're the
I
last
think.
place it's going to change here in California. But you look at, I remember years ago, Leo Foley was a rep and a mayor and all that. I remember being at a function one time, this guy come up to him and started being totally unrealistic. And he was a representative. He goes, well, I'm going to run against you. He goes, please do. He goes, I'll be happy to run against. In other words, today, it was like Mike would say, oh, don't do that. We'll talk about this later. Well,
Yeah.
Leo didn't. He's friggin' run. I can't
Yeah.
wait. Please put your name in. I'll help you get the signatures.
And they
I
won't.
want to run against you.
Yeah.
I want you to run against me so I can show the people how wrong your ideas are. But that's what they used to be. Not anymore.
But what audience do you go to?
And like, yeah.
Well, that's what I'm trying to get to.
That's
With-
why people
Yeah.
don't get involved.
Right.
The normal, hardworking,
Right.
typical leader doesn't get
Doesn't
involved
involve.
because
They go
these
to-
are the people that thrive.
Right. So that's what,
Interesting comment from the audience.
Lots of
Education
comment.
has been messed up since 1979. Maybe President Trump going in and gutting the mismanaged agency will help.
Well, I don't think, okay, I don't think anybody can deny that the government is, it's bloated.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody, I don't care whether you're a Democrat, Republican, you all know that. You've all been saying it.
We're gonna
But
fire
they
you. haven't-
none of them have done it before.
What to fire
Now,
your sister?
But but John, if it was anybody else doing it.
Linda, the only
we got to
way-
get rid of this.
The
Oh,
only
if
way
Trump
to get-
says it,
the
then
only
it's
way to get rid of
bad.
this, Linda, is when you retire from any government agency, there's got to be a board that justifies that position. Otherwise, we would still have somebody filling the horse troughs at City Hall.
Right.
At one point, we had a city employee, that was their job, to make sure there was water for the horses in the horse troughs outside City Hall. That was their job.
But you wouldn't have that now. You'd have 10 different supervisors saying, well, you only give a quarter.
We
You've got to fill it.
need, the city council has got to appoint a board that has to approve, okay, we're gonna reposition this job, or we're gonna dispose of this position.
Well,
That's one thing that the school system needs to do big time, because we really need to start thinking about last hired positions being the first to go when budget talks come up.
absolutely.
Because how many positions have we had? The DEI director, gone, see ya, these are all we have so many positions that school wellness consultant, I don't even remember the titles of the positions that we hired, but as soon as the budget, the next budget difficulties happen, none of those positions come up as being the first to go. Like we'll lose paras, or we'll lose these positions, the important positions that everybody complains about. Yet school climate specialist, is still in there, and we don't talk
Is it
about
really?
those positions.
Wow.
Well,
That's crazy.
And I hate to
They're
say,
basically patty cake,
No,
patty
I
cake
hear
people
it. I
in
just, wow.
schools,
Jeez.
and those positions don't get talked about. Why are they not first on the chopping block?
Why do you
the last
create it in the
positions
first place?
hired.
When
They-
Jim
we didn't-
Peters,
we
Jim
didn't
Peters
need him
used
in
to
the
come in on
first
a
place,
regular
but-
basis. He's not as healthy as he'd like to be. When his dad ran the school system in Lowell, there were like 6 employees.
He said he
in
had like 5
administration.
people under him.
Right.
5 or 6 people ran the administration.
Yeah.
Now we have over 100. Government has just gone and they all make over 100 grand.
It's a race to administration.
but, okay, I know that in fact, Jackie Doherty was on, and
Yep.
and I asked a question, because she was complaining, and
She's
everybody is, that all the money that's being cut, and it's Trump's fault, everything's Trump's fault.
course,
But
yeah.
the money that's being cut, oh my goodness,
They
what
get
are we
too
gonna
much
do?
money.
And I said, what,
They get too much. We
right.
need to get rid of some things.
But if you have a choice, and you're gonna have a choice, okay, let's say, I don't know, $200,000 is being, it's got to be even higher than that. $1 million being cut from the Lowell school system. Why wouldn't, I'm afraid that the money that's going to be cut is going to be down at the book budget and that type of thing that, in Tingsville for years they ran on, we still have history books that say someday a man will land on the moon. Well, instead of doing that, cut the administrators. But it just, why is it so hard to do that?
Because once you add a position, it just becomes part of the role, and the teachers unions have the ability to play the victim better than anybody,
But wait a
because
minute,
they say that they represent the children, and so
they're
as soon
not
as you
even
say that there's a $2 million cut or the $2 million shortage in the budget, it's really not a shortage. There's more money coming in everywhere. But it's for the kids.
Why-
They do a better job playing the victim than any other union you can
Right.
ever see.
So why wouldn't the union fight for their teachers, and why aren't the teachers saying to their union leaders, fight for our positions and don't cut the paras, let's cut the administrators.
But there's the unions representing them all, and
But they're
it doesn't
not.
matter. Yeah, they are.
No,
What?
how can you say that if they're not cutting the administration?
Because it's the same thing. Every teacher's salary, right, is strictly just based on paper credential now. Okay, that's how teachers get promoted. It's the days of the 25, 30-year educator moving up to administration, becoming the principal, having all this experience, running the school, is over. As soon as a teacher gets hired or gets started on the education track, it's all about gaining more paper. It's about getting your next degree, your next certificate, and
And tenure.
the more you build up, administrator. So 3 to 5 years in, you become administrator, and you get into the 6-figure category, and you only have 3 to 5 years of teaching experience in your lifetime, and you're going to be administrator for the rest of your career. And that's how teachers get ahead. So this is where we're at. It's just this constant more push to, I don't know.
But-
There's a crack in the,
Oh, there is, because
in the system.
I
and
don't understand. I'm
It
gonna
won't go
back to
backwards.
the union isn't the way the union was, because the union used to be, all unions, that they made certain the working conditions were good for the
But
people
that's gone out
they
the window.
represent.
I
Why?
pick on Mike now and then. They're making the firefighters drive trucks that the wheels are falling off. And the union did nothing about it.
Why?
The union doesn't take questions.
Well, you're saying that, I don't,
All about, give me more money.
no, that's a
It's not about quality
mentality.
of
Okay.
service, it's not about safety, it's
It's-
about, give me more money.
At some point, you know, you gotta decide that this isn't working for me. I
that's why-
can't teach
Well, that's
if
why I
I
said
have no
it's-
discipline, I
at
can't
some
teach.
point, the finances are going to crash, and that's going to cause it to be, and it's going to happen, because, like I said, the states can't sustain a $44 billion budget, $64 billion budget. There was only $1 billion 44 years ago. And the money's not coming in. Boston's tanking. There's restaurants, businesses going, the Prudential Center's half empty. You can go down Boylston Street at night, there's nobody there. Somebody cut down, Julie, what's her name, planted like 30 trees, and somebody cut them down with a chainsaw. Nobody saw it. In Boylston Street area, all the money's not going to be coming in, so it's going to, that's what the great rectifier is, money. And when
Well, it is,
when
but-
no money comes in, then you're going to crash. Then you're going to have to look at stuff like, again, like Trump's doing. There's education departments in every friggin' state. Get rid of the federal one. There's Department of, you have the forestry stuff and everything. There's one in every state. Get rid of that on the federal level. You got
Okay,
the, you know.
how then can they say that that's causing a problem? If they're getting rid of that, if the federal government does get rid of that level?
Yeah, it's good to
Why
take
is
a while.
everybody whining that, we're not, it's going to affect us, we're not going to have,
Because they don't know what they're talking about. They're just
They-
talking
they have
political.
no idea.
They have no idea, thank you. They have no idea, they're just talking politics that they think is right. They're playing the game, most people don't, just like that lady this morning said, I don't believe anything you said because you're white. That's just another way of saying, you're stupid, you can't have an argument. That's the whole point.
It's the same as the schools.
Yeah.
If there's a $2
Yeah.
million deficit, everybody's like, you're taking from the children.
There's gonna be,
Right.
yeah.
You know,
And-
maybe.
Yeah.
But no, like
Right.
we could be more
We
frugal with the budget, and we really actually probably need much less money to do what we
Right.
should do in the school.
Well,
You know,
But
you
they
get
don't
rid of-
know that. They just hear you're taking $2 million from the schools,
Right.
and that
Right.
means you're taking $2 million right out of the kid's mouth. You know,
Okay.
like
All right,
taken
in
away
the
from children.
past, you would say as a parent, wait a minute, no, you're not taking it from my kid. And when they did 2.5,
Right.
it cut out a lot of that nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it didn't in the cities because 2.5 didn't apply to you.
Right.
But in the towns, you could not, and you still can't, increase the budget more than 2.5%.
But you do it without a vote now. So every year in the town, the selectmen, every year raise your budget by 2.5% without a vote.
Okay, so I got a
It goes
bunch
up 2.5%.
of texts I'm gonna
Yes.
blow through here. Speaking of communists, who will be the next mayor of New York City?
Well, you're right.
Like I said, I hope that guy wins. I
got
want them
one-
to learn a lesson.
I got like
Let
five-
the whole country see them.
I'm gonna blow through these 5 texts and you guys
Okay.
can share. When you go and try to cut government, they label you a racist
Yeah.
and you're going to kill everyone.
Who cares?
And
who
the
cares?
media
People
go
don't-
right along
Yeah.
with the narrative.
People don't buy that anymore. They're done with that stuff. People are sick of that stuff. And like I said, it's not 50-50, it's 90-10.
Back in the
If
day,
they
they
want to
used
get into
to
a war,
cut-
they're going to lose bad.
Back in the day, they used to cut janitors first. That's how the
Yeah,
bright people, how bright these people have always been.
yeah.
And then the last one, so maybe I should ask the question, how much money in the school budget go towards administrative costs? That's
You're right.
A
and-
lot more than you probably
Right back to
would
where I
believe,
said,
you know.
you know,
Yeah. Is the city still
Okay.
doing the auditing for the auditing department? Are they still doing the budget for the school department? Mike, you know?
The city?
The city was doing, when I was there, they were doing, the school department wasn't doing their own thing.
Well, Greg, the
This-
budget's written in a fashion that the
The city,
elected
the girls in
officials,
the auditing
the
department were doing
elected
everything.
officials cannot understand the budget. It's written in a fashion where you can't
It's,
process.
be really, John, to be honest with you, it's not that difficult to figure it out. It's just that, I know what you're saying, but it's also
Most
might be
city
some of the
councilors-
elected
Most
officials.
city councilors can't process.
Well, then whose problem's
budget.
that? I mean,
people that elect them.
Okay, I would.
it was just as complicated
I
back in Leo.
I tell a golden man, you will present a budget
Yeah.
that an 8th grader can understand.
No, but I'm just saying, I
That's the
agree.
budget you're gonna present.
I agree with what you're talking about, John, but I'm saying it doesn't shine well on the people who are elected, is what I'm saying.
Okay, can I
you know.
Well,
Get
if
over
nobody stays
election.
back, go ahead, Linda.
Yeah, no, I agree, John.
What
Yeah.
are the issues about the election? Are there any issues? I mean, they're all, the budget is going to be cut. Now, the message from the feds, if they're going to cut layers of administration, then I assume the message coming to the states, not probably Massachusetts, but to the states, is to follow our lead and cut administration.
Maura already knows that. That's why she's doing what she's doing. She already knows she screwed up with the $4 billion. They're going to have to cut.
Okay, but, and are they though?
Oh, they'll have to. They'll have no choice when to supplement. Remember
State
one thing with
cops ain't
government.
getting cut.
Government isn't a thing where you already have the money when you pass away. It's anticipation of revenue.
Right?
See, that's all you know that as a selectman. People don't know. Most people don't know it. It's anticipating the revenue coming in. When the revenue doesn't come in that month, then you got to cut.
See, the state
It's-
government doesn't cut. They cut, the state cops ain't getting cut. The city of Lowell's getting cut. The town of Tingsboro's getting cut.
Right. No, you're right, John. And that's what will happen.
The crumbs
But-
we send these towns aren't coming.
But
Okay,
they
then
might.
why elect the same people that vote for that?
Right, yeah. That's a good point, John, and that's the thing. But it's anticipation of revenue, and if the revenue doesn't show up, right, Mike, it's not gonna, you know.
Greg, they love you. Mr. Pappas, any news on UFOs?
It's funny, Senator Pagitaka sent me something the other day of, Steve sent it to me, Charlie Duke, who was Apollo 16, I think? Yeah, Apollo 16, walking on the moon. 90 years old, God bless him, right? An astronaut that walked on the moon. And the reality is, too, for people who don't think they walked on the moon, go to Mount Palomar in California, look through the telescope, and they'll show you the lunar landers. It's like right there. So don't say something what these courageous people did almost gave their lives. Yeah. But anyways, he come out and said that, he says, no doubt in my mind, they're not extraterrestrials, they're interdimensionals. He was in the Air Force. He said they're interdimensionals, they're demonic, and they're not French. So just going to leave with that. Isn't that interesting? Apollo 16, Charlie Duke.
They finally started talking about it though.
Yeah. Well, they got a committee in Congress.
Yes.
But they're admitting that they're here, but they don't know what they are. But they sure in heck know they're not physically from this planet. They know they're not physically from out there. They just keep talking about them being dimensional, which is what they are. We live in a dimensional
So,
universe.
it's just-
God's in the seventh heaven. So, anyways, that's all I have.
Explain to the audience what you mean by interdimensional.
Say that again?
Explain to the audience what you mean by interdimensional.
Well, if you live like Flatland, and that was written by, what's his name, Abbott there years ago, if you live in the first dimension, you're a flat person on this table, you're a flat individual, you can't see what's above you, you can't see what's below you, you can only see what's in front of you. So in the book, when you read it, circles, there were people who were circles, and there were people who were lines like a pencil. And the law was in the Flatland that the line people, when they approach a circle, had to turn sideways because they couldn't see them if they were straight on, because they were just a point and they would puncture the circle. So you could only see flat. Dimensions as you go up, we're three-dimensional. There's four. Physicists have definitely proven that there's up to 11 dimensions that they believe in the universe. They count time as one also. One of the best ones was the shows was the Twilight Zone when I was a kid. Do you remember the one where the little
Still
girl?
not getting into the dimensional thing, but that's okay.
No, that's interdimensional. The little girl falls into the wall and she ends up in another dimension. They go across the
Yes,
street.
I remember that
They go get the
episode.
physicists instead of calling the police. Yeah.
If you think
So-
about it this way, like the breaking it down into like first and second dimension is just to show you, or try to get you to think about dimensions above dimensions above us we cannot
Well, we
comprehend.
cannot comprehend.
We can't even understand what something in
Right.
from the sixth dimension even is.
Right.
It could be here. It could be present and next to us.
We don't even
But
know.
if we were living in flat world, a sphere
Right.
is
Yeah.
not even within our comprehension.
Right.
You know,
So that's correct, like what John, or what Mike is saying. And if you look at when Christ appeared to
Linda's
the
eyes are wide open over there.
when Christ appeared to the disciples, right, after the crucifixion, and he says to Peter 3 times, he says, Peter, do you love me? He goes, yes, I love you, 3 times. And he said, then he disappears in front of him. He says he didn't disappear, went into that other dimension. And what they're seeing with these UFOs is when they get them on infrared, we can't see in infrared. They're also seeing what looks like a Navy ship, they're over here, and then all of a sudden they're half a mile over here. What they're seeing if they get a fast enough camera is they don't travel that distance. They go through something and come out over here. They disappear for a second, and then they're back over here. So they go through So you can't make it, like Mike said, you can't comprehend what it is.
It's the allegory of the cave.
It's right. And that's like people, that's why I always have a problem too with reincarnation. There's people that believe in reincarnation, and it's funny how they always come back, I was a king, I was a queen. None of them were ever some little kid that got raped and murdered, But they always say, well, you learn more, and then you go back. And what are you going to learn on this planet that's going to help you in that fantastic other place that's incomprehensible? You're not. It's not going to happen.
My theory is that if you're really bad, and there are people that just are evil, they're going to have to come back and repeat, because they didn't learn anything.
No, they're not going to repeat. They're just going to be,
They're going to go to Flatland?
They're going to go to Flatland, and that's it. Well, I mean, the bottom line is, what does it say in the, if you want to go biblically again, if you look at, Christ says that he'll judge, and some will go into the flame of, the eternal fire, right?
Yeah.
So even the bad people are going to be resurrected in an eternal body. This body we have, we can't appear before God, right? Because we would burn up. Christ resurrected, died, and he defeated death with death so we can make that appearance. So even the people in the flaming thing are going to float around in this thing forever and ever. That body's not going to get eaten up because it's going to be an eternal body like ours. Will be when we go before, if we go before Christ and we get picked.
Okay.
So I'm just saying that's that dimensional thing, and that's what happens when you change that dimension. He had that dimensional body, which was the resurrected body.
When you talk about the dimensions, and the government is finally coming out that they've known about it. If you have astronauts and you have all these military people that have seen, that are in the sea and in the sky, and they see these things. Why wasn't the public made aware? Why does the government have to protect me? I can figure it out.
I don't think that's the game. I think the game was they saw military advantage with it, and they see what they could do with it. And when what happens is it appears that they don't come from, like we have satellites that see way beyond Jupiter, because we saw the the asteroids hitting Jupiter, remember? Yeah. Anybody realize what they were watching on TV? You're watching asteroids. How do you do that? So these things aren't coming from way in distant galaxies. They're just appearing out of nowhere above the Earth in a life form. Then they become solid as they enter this dimension. And they become material like the rest of the material world we're in. Then when they leave, they become dimensional again, and they turn to light and they disappear. They don't see them traveling away. So when whatever they come here and physically, whatever it is, they have found some way or another that this material that they're made out of, whatever it is, can be used for military purposes, like the stealth fighter, maybe the stealth bomber. Who the heck knows?
Okay, but the things that all the satellites and all the junk that we've got rotating around the world now, that never was. Is that interfering with this other dimension?
No, probably. I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea.
You aware that recent telescope discovery? The recent discoveries with the new telescope.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. The
dark matter.
Dark matter and the white light also.
Having mass.
Yeah.
And changes a lot about what we believed about galaxies and basically a lot of science that we thought we had nailed down about. It kind of just got flipped on its head.
Yeah, this is like the Galileo that the world is flat.
It's the same thing that it relates to the dimensional talk. It's is it Plato's allegory of the cave?
Yes.
Where it's you don't know what is out there, and when somebody becomes aware of what is out there, they are labeled as crazy, and you can't comprehend it.
I thought the question was about unidentified family occupiers. My bad.
Same thing.
I wonder if they'll do something about Sasquatch. Many sightings have been ignored. Back to you guys.
Actually, they're not many ignored. There's quite a lot of people out there studying them.
For him.
Yeah, I mean, and this stuff's been around for years, because if you go back to, it's not just since the satellites went up, you go back to Alexander the Great, he was going in, if you read Herodotus, he was going in to attack Asia. And his army was lined up with India, and that's the first time they saw elephants. And they go, what the hell? Are you gotta be kidding? The guys are all going like, really? All right, this is like, But the battle never happened, because Herodotus wrote that these 3 flaming shields, he used the word shields, came down out of the sky. Now, flaming, they could have been reflective, and dispersed both armies, scared the hell out of everybody, and they ran, and they never, India's guys, they went, and they
Yeah.
came again. Now, Herodotus used the word shields. What's interesting, if you go back to 362 BC or whatever, the Greek army, the Macedonian army, Alexander, their shields were the only ones that were round. Everybody else carried rectangular or square, or rectangular square shields.
Yeah.
Greeks carried round ones. So they were round, these things that had a reflection, so they appeared to be UFO shaped, which
Yeah.
would be, makes sense for something if you were going to see something that's going to slip into another dimension that's kind of aerodynamically kind of
So
correct.
where does the idea come from? That's right.
Yeah, so that goes way back to then. They talk about it. Then you listen to the fallen angel stuff, and it sounds like that's them.
But that's not a, why is it always a negative connotation? Why don't they deal with, why don't you deal with positive energy and,
It's the unknown.
Yeah. And the other thing is an enemy of the Christian church that they don't want. They think that, if this happens, they try to tell you that the church society will fall apart because the Christian church will, Christ actually said they're going to return in the end time. These things are what he talked
Well, yes.
about. They were the fallen angel. It's going to prove the Christian church. It's going to prove what Christ talked about. He says in the end times they're going to return. Well, let's see. He said the end times, Israel will be a nation again. Well, that's happened.
Yes.
People wouldn't know each other, wouldn't talk to each other. There'd be a great knowledge worldwide. There'd be things going on in the Middle East with Gog and Magog, which is basically the Scythians, which are the Russians. Oh, the Russians aren't going to touch Israel. They're 1,500 miles away. Moscow's 1,500 miles away. Oh, wait a minute. Now they got a naval base like 11 miles from the border of Israel. It's all falling together. These things are nothing more than dimensional beings that we know. And every day they keep coming up with more proof of all the. Now they know they're saying the Ark of Noah is on Mount Arafat. So I mean, it's all deception, like we were told it's going to be.
well, is it, but is
And
the
they're not
public
friendly.
just wants to keep their head in the sand?
In some ways.
Yeah.
I mean,
But I really think that the deep state stuff, the services, they have benefited militarily from some of this stuff. I mean, all of a sudden, in 1977, the stealth fighter came out. I, by accident, saw them in California. I was coming home from California. I called my father. I don't believe these things I saw flying over the Mojave Desert. And then that was 1979, I went out with a girlfriend. And then 1990, there they were on TV when they attacked Iran. I saw those 11 years ago. They were all top secret. And when they say they're invisible, they literally are invisible.
Yes.
I mean, there's some people that say
You
they
can
don't
see them
show
with
up
your
in-
eyes. You can see them with your eyes.
You can, but there's some
And you
concept
can't
of
see them electronically.
you can't see them on radar, but there's some concept with the B-1 bomber that now that's a huge bomber. It's almost as big as a B-52. The B-2s, the ones that just bombed the 30,000-pound bombs in Iran. Did you see what Trump did the other day? I thought it was very interesting because he said they're flying, they dropped their bombs, and then then they took off. They just went and they went invisible. Why did he turn his hand like that, like real quick? There's something about if the plane tips on its side, something happens to it. And
You
it
can't
kind
see
of
it.
gives you a sense of not only can't you see it on radar, but is there something else that's going on? Can it ripple the?
See,
Can
when
it
you
ripple
turn sideways, Cliff will tell you,
Yeah.
you turn sideways, you're going to crash. So there's got to be new technology that's
Yes.
Yeah.
getting lift.
Right. Well, that's I said everything on its new
So
technology.
we're beginning to learn that
I'll have
this,
Right.
to ask Cliff on Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cliff knows a lot of secret
Well, he
stuff.
was in the Pentagon. Cliff should know it. Yeah.
He knows a lot of secret
Yeah.
stuff.
Damn right he does. Yeah. So there we go.
and I don't think that we necessarily need to know everything about all of that.
But it's
Technically.
I mean-
I mean, some people just are not going to be able to digest it and.
Well, they
and-
can't. Most people have never been able to. I think the greatest thing is the internet and the telephones we have. It allows people to make their own decisions now to figure out the mainstream media has been lying to them for years. I mean, look at the thing the other day with President Kennedy. I said out of the 80,000 pages, they came up with nothing. They did come up with something. They came out and proved it. The guy by the name of George Anthes, was mentoring Oswald. George Anthes was born in Greece. He moved to the United States when he was 6 months old. Grew up in New York. Became a CIA member. He was using the name of Al something. When they connected the name Al something to George Anthes, why was George Anthes handling Oswald as an asset if the CIA wasn't involved at that time with the President Kennedy? So we know now the CIA was attached to Oswald, which we also know didn't do the shooting too. It's not hard to figure that out.
Yeah.
Just
Comment
stand
from
in the
the
window down
audience,
there.
wouldn't astronauts have a front row seat to seeing UFOs? Sasquatch died with the invention of the camera on your phone. No real sightings said.
Yeah, well, astronauts have. There's lots of astronauts that talked about UFOs. Not only up there, but astronauts, Gordon Cooper talked about the ones that landed at the white sands thing in front of him and 3 other. You can look up the video. He's dead serious. He's talking about these things came down, they landed, we're looking at them going, what the hell are those? We're standing by our planes, they were over there, and the little disc things, and yeah, astronauts have seen them. Lots of astronauts have seen them.
Kids, we got like 3.5 minutes. Anything on your mind you want to get out there, Mike, we didn't talk about?
We've gone all over the place.
No, me and Greg could have a conversation and a half, though, I'll tell you that.
Oh, yeah.
We'd need hours.
Hours, yep.
No,
Yeah,
flipping out gymnastics is running on all cylinders. Camps and clinics going on every day.
That's good.
Tell us more.
Always check us out on the website, flippingoutgymnastics.com.
They
Flipping
run a program
Flipping
for
with no G at the end.
disabled
Gymnastics.
as well.
Oh,
Yep.
okay.
We have
High-end.
Very important.
programs for all ages, from infant all the way through adult gymnastics. We have adult gymnastics one night a week, and then our adaptive program is really unique. We work with physical and mental disabilities, kids of all types of needs, and we have classes 365 days a year for that population. But right now,
That's amazing. I
yes.
know, because
No, I know. It is. It really is. And
Because
it's
it helps them.
It's my wife, and her staff is very well trained now too. Our coaches are great, and the kids
Can't
love
say
it.
enough about
Yeah.
those programs, because it's so needed and
Yep.
appreciate. Now and you're in Drake it.
Drake it, yeah, Beaverbrook Mill, right where I'm behind Owen and Ollie's. Everybody seems to know where Owen and Ollie's is.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
We're right on the other side of the mill.
website.
Yep, Flippin' Out, FLIPPINOUT, Flippin' Out Gymnastics, and you search us anywhere online and you'll find our website. Everything's on there, classes, registration,
If you have any trouble, just put it into
descriptions.
Google, that's what I did.
Yeah, you'll find us.
Good
Drake
stuff,
it.
yeah.
And it's good. I mean, people are realizing that kids have to get out there and do things
Well,
and
yeah.
become active and
Yeah,
physically fit. And
And socialize, too.
yeah, well,
And realize, they can get knocked
there
down and
it
pick
is.
themselves back up
There it
again,
is,
yeah.
folks. And so
You know? I had a friend the other day, we went out to breakfast, and he had broken his hip a couple weeks ago. 10 days later, he was out of surgery, rehab, he's 67 years old like me. And the first thing we said, how's it going? We're sitting down at breakfast, and he says, is it still hurting, Ryan? He goes, yeah, but pain's a great purifier. That's what our football coach taught us in the 8th grade. We all remembered that. You learn from that, and you pick yourself up, and he did. Picked himself up. The doctors couldn't believe after 10 days he's out. Because we learned, work through the pain.
That's right,
And you
work through
become a
pain,
better
absolutely
person, and you
right.
will heal faster. Those things like he's doing, his wife's doing, the kids are going to remember that. Every experience is going to be drilled into them, into their DNA and their memory. Yeah, it's excellent. Very, very good.
we lost it along the way.
Well, hopefully we're getting it back with some things like Mike's
Yeah.
wife's doing and stuff,
my 7-year-old worked out with the older kids.
Even better.
The other day, and
Good
she's
experience.
been complaining about her shoulder hurting and then her leg on the other side hurting, and we're like, you did a lot of hard work this week. Like,
Yeah.
she's
Yeah.
sore.
Expect-
And
Yeah.
she's learning about good pain.
So-
Yeah, exactly.
Suck it up
Yeah.
and move on.
Exactly.
Yep.
As long-
Time is short. Tomorrow, City Life, we're going to have Evelyn Thorne will be here, Bobby Hoey's going to be here, John Moses, and Sam Chase. Time is short, Linda, you said
Well,
better
I
say
want to
goodbye.
thank Greg for,
Oh, thank you.
and Mike, and I want to get the two of you back on again, because
Yeah.
I think the conversation was interesting, and I like to have people on that, I mean, the local politics and everything, what's going on is
Yeah.
important, we touch on
School's
that.
real important,
But there's
but Mike
other
knows.
things out there that we need to know about.
Oh, yeah.
All the topics end up connecting, though.
Yeah.
Yes,
We talk about it all, but we
Yep.
come back to the
you
same.
show
type of,
that
you know.
there is a connection.
Say
Yeah.
goodbye, kids.
Thank you, have a good day.
See you tomorrow.